Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. Jimmy was taking a sip in the middle.
Yeah,
he's like, I am swallowing liquid right now, and I'm Jimmie Whisman on top of that.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thirsty.
Very thirsty. We are excited. It's Arizona, so we're sitting here in the heat. What do you want?
It's
dry.
Miserable.
It's a little dry.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a little dry out at the moment, so that's what it just sucks it extracts any bit of moisture that you have in your body out from you. It
doesn't even go into the earth. It just goes out
it's just
somewhere.
Gone into the dust. The dust takes it away and takes it into the hills. It's disgusting. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. We are very excited this week. We have a weird show this week, definitely a weird one, and those are fun, though, a weird show. So we're going to have a great time with this. Can't wait. Just want to, a little bit of house cleaning here. Thank you, everyone, for your reviews. They mean a lot to us. Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. It does help drive the show up the charts, which is helpful for a couple of schmucks like us. And on top of that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. For everything crime and sports that you could imagine, all of your merchandise, everything like that. You can get tickets to the live show that's going to be in Tempe in November. I believe there's a few tickets to that left, and all that stuff. And also everything Small Town Murder. You definitely, if you haven't listened to Small Town Murder, you're missing some weird stuff, and I don't.
What's wrong with you?
If you listen to this show, there's no reason why you wouldn't enjoy that show. Like none. They go right, hand in hand beautifully. I swear to God, I'm going to do like a combo episode one of these days just to show how wonderfully these shows go together, because they really do. They dovetail.
How does that work? Do we like
beautifully? I have one. I have an athlete who killed somebody in a small town. So I have it.
Okay.
I could do it. We could do this, Jimmy.
You could do it either that way, or we just do 2 entirely separate cases and then lay them basically on top of each other, because the formula works, God damn it.
We do the same episode, release it on both feeds. We get a day off that week.
No,
we're not going to do that. That would be really shitty to do. We're not going to do that. But we're going to figure out some way to show you how well they go together. Listen to that. Get your tickets for live shows all throughout 2022 and a few at the end of 2021. I know California, we got Brea Improv and San Diego, they're going to be the first live shows back. So let's make them good, please. Get your tickets to that. Also, listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie, because I had to watch a Britney Spears movie this week, Jimmy. I watched Crossroads, and wow, I want her to be free, and in her freedom, I'd like her to choose not to act again, because it's really bad. It's funny shit. So you want Robert De Niro, you get to hear me do Robert De Niro pretending to be Britney Spears. So listen to that. And
yikes.
It's good stuff. Check that out.
What?
It's so weird. I can't even describe how it happens, but it happens. And Patreon, we are cooking. And Patreon this week, I'm so excited for, because it's a wild one. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You get access to both podcast bonus episodes. It's not like, only one or the other. So you get Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports. And this week, for Crime and Sports bonus, we have avoidable off-field injuries that have messed up people's careers. And this was a great idea we came up with a couple weeks ago. And it's David Thompson brought it up, because it's like, so a guy who was like Michael Jordan level, talent and respect, got thrown down the stairs at Studio 54 and never played again. That's
no control over that.
Imagine if Karl Malone got tossed down the stairs and has never played again in the mid-'80s.
Then his back is broken and it's over.
So we're going to talk about that, different ones. It's all throughout history this has happened, and it's pretty funny. Honestly, it's sad, some of them, but some of them are really just so ridiculous. Fireworks and things of that nature.
Motorcycle riding. The choices that they make are crazy.
Yeah, we'll stick to the funny ones, unlike, the guy who last on this 4th of July, what happened to him. We'll leave that out. But and then small town murders, we have everybody wonders from other countries in this country, the same thing everyone says. What the hell is up with Florida? What's going on with Florida? So we are going to do crazy Florida murders. Just weird Florida murders that have happened in the last 100 years or so. We'll just do that.
We could probably do in the past 3 months and fill it up.
And it would be amazing. But we're going to do historical. There will be alligators involved. It's going to be awesome.
I guarantee it.
Patreon.com/crime and sports. Plus, Jimmie's a producer. Jimmie's going to say, you're a producer, so Jimmie will mispronounce your name at the end of the show when we do shout-outs, but he'll try to say it very well. And if you just want to be a producer and get a shout-out, it is PayPal, and use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Let's go.
And everything you do. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So, God, I can't wait to do these. Patreon this week is amazing. I'm just so excited for that. I'm sorry. But today,
2 terrific concepts.
And this episode today of Crime and Sports is wild as well. We are going to talk about, it's a boxer, so a brain damage episode. And you won't understand what I'm talking about till the end, but it's one of the weirdest episodes we've ever done. It's definitely a crime and sports first. It's just some weird shit. We're going to talk about a guy named Kabary Salem. Have you ever heard of Kabary Salem? No, probably not. Not a bad boxer either. That's the thing. Pretty good boxer. So that's how many boxers there are. That's the problem. He was like a light heavyweight at the peak of his career. So it's tough, man. You either got to be a middleweight or, somewhere in there. You got 140 to 156, or even if there's some good fighters around, you can get into the 160s when, Hopkins and shit was there. But like that is no man's land, that light heavyweight division.
You got to have some flash and pop or some knockout power. Otherwise, nobody gives a fuck.
It's tough, man. So his nickname, and this is a pretty good nickname. We haven't had too many as good as this. The Egyptian Magician.
All right.
So
not bad.
This is the guy you're fighting in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I assume, where you have to wait for his jewel to flash, and then he zips around, and that's when you know to cover up. Right? Even though I think he was Indian.
So
but it's just a generally racist character. A darker guy with a turban on, and he's, you know what I'm saying?
The typical American generalized
that's what I mean.
Middle Eastern,
some sort of something from over there. That's kind of what it's put out like.
Hilarious.
That's kind of what Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was. It was a bunch of
it was,
generally the soda pop.
It's a stereotype video game.
Yeah, just a drunk Russian guy. You had. It was funny. I don't know why they had that. Piston Honda? Are you kidding me? The man's name.
Even the German guy looked very.
Oh God!
Very Nazi.
His name was Kaiser. That was his name. And didn't he come to the ring in like a pointed helmet or something, I think? I don't remember.
I think he did. I think it was
like a pointed helmet or something.
Like a motorcycle point on it.
Yeah, like a German war helmet from the early 20th century.
It was all so racist and awful. But a great game.
The boxing was wonderful. And at the end of it, a black guy beats the living shit out of you. That's the game.
Yes.
So it's a weird racist game because you're like, it's racist, and then it's like, not for Tyson though. So so the Egyptian Magician, he is born February 12th, 1968. He is born in, big surprise, Cairo, Egypt. So I don't know if we've ever had an Egyptian crime and sports subject.
We have not.
This is a new one completely for us. Now, obviously, there's not a lot on his childhood because I don't know why. It wasn't covered very much. So it's difficult, and I could have made up some crazy upbringing, but it would literally be like a mush together. Right. Like at least if I'm doing like Bernard Below, I'm like Belgian people. I know there's waffles involved. Okay, that's good. Or Dutch people. I know there's tulips. Like things but like this, I would be mashing together stereotypes.
Yeah, you'd be
half the planet,
making a racist video game.
Just half the planet. I'd be like, then he learned how to snake charm, and he used to get the cobras out with his flute. Like I don't know what else to fucking say. What else would I say? So that would be racist too, and the whole thing would just be a nightmare.
He lost his brother to a magic carpet ride crash.
That's the problem. Yeah, well, he survived the crash. He survived
but his
the
brother,
crash.
James.
His brother survived the crash, but the problem is he crashed into a snake charmer, and then the cobras bit him, and he died from the poison of the cobras. That was the
He
issue.
fell in a cobra basket.
He fell in a cobra basket, and so that's why he died. So there wasn't even the magic carpet. I mean, it's kind of ironic because his fall was broken by the cobra basket.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have died from the fall. But the fact that he fell on the cobra basket meant he got bit by a bunch of cobras. So it really didn't work out well for him.
But the saddest part was after the snake bites was the camel stampede ran over the basket.
That was bad. The camel stampede. That was a tough time for everybody, really, because that destroyed the whole market and all the tents, and everybody in their linen outfits and things like that. That went.
But the genie brought him back to life, so that was nice.
And it was during prayer time as well, so everybody was facing Mecca. They didn't even see him. They didn't even see the camel coming, so that was rough. So Kabary said he was going to conquer this, and because his brother was killed by cobras on a magic carpet, he decided that he would learn to charm snakes while on a magic carpet so he'd conquer everything. And then he was going to kill every camel he ever saw. So that was his childhood, everybody. A camel murdering, snake charming, magic carpet flying, limousine, magic carpet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. That's right. That's what he is.
What a wild story we just made up.
There you go. We just told everyone it was fake ahead of time and made it up.
I think it was better that way.
It was. It was, because if I could have told you the other one, and that would have been funny, but trust me, when I put it in, it's the right time. This wasn't the right time for it. And when it comes, you won't be expecting it. Because I feel like everyone would be expecting this. And so
yeah.
When it comes, you won't be expecting it, and it's not now. So anyway, he grows up, I assume, based on his life, that at some point he takes up boxing. I'm not sure why. I don't know if he got a neighborhood bully involved, or
I'm sure,
like I said, an accident with a magic carpet and a cobra. Anything's possible, but he ended up boxing, which I honestly didn't. I don't know. Like, I know boxing culture and a lot of. I'm a big boxing fan, especially like history of boxing and all that. There's like boxing in my family, and people have So I was interested in it because of that. So like. Looking at it, like I know boxing culture in certain countries, like America has a big boxing culture. Obviously, Latin America has a big boxing culture. It's huge. I mean, it's the kids are out there doing knuckle push-ups when they're 6. Like that's, if you go to South Phoenix, there's gyms out there.
Yep.
You go by in the morning, there are small children doing wild workouts there because they're training already to be boxers. I mean, it's a big
taped
deal.
to the middle of their forearms, and they're running in 120 degrees.
They don't give a fuck. I've seen it. It's wild. So, and I've been to these gyms too. I've been to a gym like that down there, and they're really dedicated people. The young people who are into boxing are dedicated people, like, because it takes a lot of discipline, and for a kid to have that kind of discipline, it's really impressive. Anyway, in any culture, but I mean, all over the Europeans. I know the English, their boxing culture there, what they're into, European ones, but even Russian. But I've known nothing in the Muslim world of boxing. I just didn't know. I had no idea. And I'm not saying that, what the fuck, Muslims can't box or whatever, but I just had no fucking clue that this, in Egypt, there was like a boxing gym, and that was like a thing. And I didn't know they were into it. That's all. In that part of the world. I just had no idea.
I've heard it be part, soccer's certainly part of their culture. That's
a lot of sports are.
I don't know. I don't know what other sports there.
You don't. A lot of sports, you just cricket's big. You just
basketball's big there now too.
Basketball's big too.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Like I don't know, but I haven't heard of a lot of like boxers from the Middle East or North Africa in this particular context. So it's weird. Anyway, he started his amateur career in 1989. From what I can find here, he must have started earlier than this, but the first it has to, because he's fighting in a world championship at this point.
You think Muhammad Ali brought boxing to them? Do you think that became something that they started to watch it?
No, that's Africa. That's Africa. That's sub-Saharan Africa. That's a different.
Oh, that's what he was. That's was a different Muslim story. Religion he was into.
Yeah, but it's a different. There's. Sub-Saharan Africa is a completely different thing than Northern Africa.
Okay.
Northern Africa is I guess I'm sure I'm going to use the wrong terminology and someone will get mad at me, but for lack of more, for lack of better clarification on my part, the Northern Africa is like, quote, Arab, you know what I mean? And Southern and Sub-Saharan Africa is black. So
got it.
That's kind of how you know, that's the way I've always saw it.
I understood that Muhammad Ali, just Islam in general.
Well, Islam is
I just figured
on
that,
the whole continent, but it's a different.
And that's all my point is just that changing his name to Muhammad Ali. I figured that would make some fucking news there.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, and that's the thing too. I don't know culturally if that meshes there or not. It might, and it might be an idiot for. I don't know. You know what I mean? I have no clue. Yeah. But at some point, he was boxing, and. Getting into it to the point where on September 26th, 1989, he is in Moscow at the 1989 AIBA World Championships.
Okay.
And I have him in the quarterfinal winning on points against Billy Walsh. Okay. And making him 1-0 for the tournament. And then 2 days later, on September 28th, 89, he fights a guy named Torsten Schmitz.
What a name.
Torsten. Jesus Christ.
I've known two guys named Torsten.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
I've never heard that a human being named Torsten before. One of them. It sounds like a name that people are going to start naming their kids, though, any day now. You know what I mean? This is little Torsten, and this is
probably popular in the fucking Mormon world.
I don't even know. Somewhere. Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking ladies sitting at Starbucks going, before Torsten was born. Somewhere. I don't know where, but...
And it's a toddler in a fedora.
Yeah. Little Torsten.
I've known two dudes, and one of them was a real estate agent. He had to put that shit on signs.
What was his... I'm not going to ask you this. What nationality were their last names?
Unbelievably white.
Yeah, okay. Like Schmitz is pretty... Yeah,
like Smith would have... It was I don't know his last name, but I do.
We don't want to blow up his spot here.
I know what it sounds like to me right now in my head, and it's unbelievably like fucking Idaho. You know, like it's so white.
Gotcha.
It's incredibly white.
So he loses to Torsten. Torsten, angry about his name. Never fight a man named Torsten. He's not going to be happy.
Torsten the Torque.
He's been fucked with a lot, and he's just like he could snap at any minute and go like Ralphie from Christmas Story on you in a heartbeat. Just be on top of you. A referee's trying to pull you off. Go into a neutral corner. You're like, you're just beating him. Not even with your fist, just with the bottom of your palm, pounding on his face.
Forearm hammers.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. So he ended up going, I guess, 1-1 in that tournament. And then I see in 1991 at the All Africa Games, he won a gold medal in the light middleweight division, because he gets a lot bigger as he gets older here, in the light middleweight division at those games, a gold medal. So
great.
Apparently he's the best light middleweight amateur on the continent, at least. Yeah. I mean, so good for him.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. And he ends up going to the 1992 Olympics. Oh, yeah. Going to the Olympics.
Barcelona.
Yeah, look at him in Barcelona. 24 years old when he gets there. And he fights Leonidas Malekis.
Wow.
Malekis from Lithuania, I believe he was from. And Salem is representing Egypt. And it is match number 15, and he loses. So there's that. He loses on points, which in the Olympics, you can't take wins or losses at that kind of thing in the Olympics. I mean, Mike Tyson lost in the Olympics.
Are there knockouts in the Olympics?
Yeah, there are knockouts.
Knocked out?
Yeah, it happens, but there's fucking headgear. So, I mean, you got to really wallop somebody in the face. So it's not about that. It's more about points.
Yeah.
It's
style.
Some guys,
there's actual defense. Yeah.
And some guys drop that style pretty quickly, and then some guys, don't, basically. Yeah. I mean, like Oscar De La Hoya never stopped fighting an Olympic style. He always fought an Olympic style, like, that's 1 point, that's 1 point. Yep. Like he was counting points in his head as he was boxing. Like, I think I got him. I think I got him this score to this score. I really do.
Incredible.
I feel like it. So he ends up losing there, which, I mean, hey, you know what? You made it to the Olympics. There's no goddamn shame in losing in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So he's tied for 17th, which is last place. It goes from like 9th to 17th, and there's like a dozen guys tied for 17th. It's everybody who lost in the first round, basically. So they're all tied for 17th. And 1996, he goes back to the Olympic Games.
Oh.
I don't know if he's the only.
Sydney?
That was Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. That's right.
The whole bombing and
Sydney's
everything.
2000, yeah.
I believe so, yeah. So anyway, Atlanta here. He's 28. I don't know if Egypt doesn't have any other boxers but
yeah, at 28, that seems a bit old to be in the Olympics.
It's strange for a boxer to box twice in the Olympics, unless it's like they were 16 when they boxed and now they're 20 or something. But at 24, usually you box in the Olympics, then you turn pro.
Right.
Or you stop boxing. Like, you don't continue to amateur box. He continued to amateur box for another 4 years.
That's crazy.
That's a very weird thing. His pro career doesn't start till 97. So it's very, very...
He was 30?
Basically, yeah, almost. Wow. He's 29 when he started. That's insane. Yeah. So in 1996, he fights a man, what was this? Ariel Hernandez from Cuba. And Ariel Hernandez beats him as well. It's a loss on points again. There are only 3 rounds too in the Olympics. So, I mean, it goes by quick, and if you don't even have to have gotten hit hard ever. Just he jabbed you a few times, and that's it. He's up on points. So
I don't think I've ever seen an Olympic boxing match.
They're pretty fucking boring. They're boring.
Okay.
I mean, you have to throw hands because it's points, but it's all about, like, they literally count, like, you hit this part of the glove on here, that counts as 1 point, and that counts as 2 points. It's so it's kind of boring. They're not going for they're not going for a knockout. There's not really exciting. Everybody's kind of saying, okay, we're going to fight for 3 rounds and see who gets the most shots landed, kind of a thing. But then
again, as the reward for it being a medal, I don't know that I want my best fighters in my country going to that and possibly getting their heads split open and never fighting again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's a good point too. So yeah, you like the headgear now?
I kind of do, but I don't want to. I still don't want to watch it.
Yeah, it's boring as shit. I'm glad that you guys are doing that. Enjoy.
Yeah,
have a good one.
For you.
I'll be over here watching a sport that's better. I'll be watching basketball because at least that's a ball and a hoop still. There's not
so what I watch on TV.
There's not like a bumper around the hoop that like knocks it in if it, like a bowling bumper in the fucking gutters. So anyway, he loses again, so he's tied for 17th again in Atlanta. But still, he's been to the Olympics twice, which means he's ready finally at 29 years old to start his pro career, which is, I mean, it's one thing that he's mature and he's physically mature and everything like that. And he's had a fuckload of amateur fights. I don't know how many, but a shitload, I would imagine, if he was doing it for basically 10 years. He's got to have a ton of amateur fights under his belt. So January 31st, 97, at the Yonkers Raceway in Yonkers, New York, because he comes to the United States to pursue his dream of becoming a professional boxer.
Yonkers Speedway, like
Raceway,
in between like drag race events or something.
They have events at these places. Yeah,
That's wild.
What do you do? I don't know if there's like an inside pavilion or if they just put like an umbrella over the whole of the ring,
set a ring in the pits.
I mean, maybe they have stands, so why not? They used to have, it's the same thing, I guess, as having it in a ballpark back in the day, like they always used to have. You just kind of set a ring in the middle on second base, and everybody. There's
already seats here. We don't have to fuck with anything.
I think that's basically what it is. And it's a way for a raceway to make a few extra bucks here and there.
Hilarious.
So, he moves to the United States to, I don't know what the professional boxing circuit in Egypt is like, but probably, I don't know how promising it is, put it that way.
I'm sure it's better here.
he comes here and he fights Jamel Bervine in his first fight. And this is the first fight for both competitors. But the difference is this is Jamel Bervine's only fight. So, yeah, Kabary knocks the ambition out of him, apparently. He not only knocked him out, he knocked the ambition floated away from his body toward the ceiling. And he got up and went, oh, never mind.
Great way to put it. Yeah.
No, what was I thinking? You know what? Actually, my cousin said he could get me a job with the sanitation company. I think I'm going to try that out because this is That guy knocked the ambition right out of me. So, not that you don't have to be ambitious for sanitation, but for boxing, you do. So,
absolutely,
you need an ambition for boxing. It's not just like, well, it's not just a job, boxing. You know, well, it's benefits. No, people are punching you in the face. That shit's dangerous. You got to be into it.
Sanitation required skills are: can you wear this vest?
Yeah,
and can you do this job efficiently? It's not. Can you do it ambitiously?
Please, garbage men, save your tweets. I swear to God, we get it. It sucks. It's a shit job, and it is a shit job, but it's a good job. I'm sure you just can support your family and you get
paid
benefits.
well.
So
good for you.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
You don't have to have ambition.
No. You did leave the house and you got that job.
Yeah,
good for you. I'm happy for you. You show up every day. That takes a lot of ambition. We're just saying boxing, to get up and say, I want to go get punched in the face again today, it's a different kind of ambition. They're not the same type. They should be spelled differently because they're different words. So March 30th, 1997, he is at Mohegan Sun Casino, which is not a bad venue.
He has arrived.
That's not bad here. He's fucking almost 30 years old. He better show up soon. He fights Kevin Fulton, who comes into the fight at 1-3, and this is his last fight. So you can imagine he's not going out on a high note, so it's going to end up bad here. This is a first-round knockout for Kabary, and he is 2-0. So that brings him to the next month. He's not fighting like every week or anything, though, like a lot of people do when they start. April 29th, 97, he's in Philadelphia fighting Andre Waddell, who this is his first and only fight. Again. So this is, again, a first-round knockout. 3-0 for Kabary. So he's fought 3 fights and ended 3 careers.
Incredible.
I mean, careers is in quotes, obviously. Yeah. There's not really a career if you fight one fight and lose and then quit. That's
the Egyptian ambition evaporation magician.
The Egyptian magician. He makes your career disappear.
Yeah.
Poof. It's gone. Look at that. He did it.
Ambition evaporation.
The ambition evaporator. The Egyptian magician. The ambition evaporator. Kabary, Salem.
It's terrific. He could have hired us. We'd have thought on it a little harder.
Oh man, I'm telling you. Yes, you can use it as one nickname, but we have more for you. More. Remember when Tyson used to come to the ring? They had like 9 nicknames.
Yeah, that's a lot.
This and that, the dynamite, this and the fucking this and that.
It's like anybody that saw him fight said, "Man, you're like this," and he was like, "I'll use that too."
I'll use that too. Just add it on. The guy with the cards, like, more? Fuck. I'm running out of room.
Dynamite over here.
Can I get
like iron?
Yeah, I got a 3x5. It's like a bigger index card. You got like a 4x8 I can use or something? Because this is just not big enough to hold this man's nicknames. No, I can't remember them all. It's too many. Christ, what am I, his mother? No.
So good, though.
So June 15th, 1997, again, a month and a half later, giving himself some time. He's at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. Yeah. Very nice place. He is fighting Derek Double Impact Whitley.
Okay.
So I don't know if he punches you twice or if one punch has the impact of 2. I'm not sure what that's implying. But either way,
he's basically just calling himself, I'm the same as every other boxer, 2 hands.
2 hands. Derek 2 Hands Whitley. That's me. Derek makes a fist Whitley. He's 4-6 coming in, and he continues that pattern throughout his career, ending his career at 24-25 eventually. Okay. So, I mean, that's almost a 500 career. It's not great.
That's all that is.
That's all. That guy. He's working for the sanitation department during the day, and then he works. He gets up at like 4 a.m. to do his road work, and then he goes and gets in the garbage truck. I feel like because he
gets it all into the same day, and he just lets somebody else drive while he picks up the cans and jogs behind it. Yeah.
Either way, he's fighting a lot of $500 fights here that are not going to pay the bills. So this fight goes all 4 rounds. It's only a 4-rounder, and it's a unanimous decision win for Kabary. So that makes him 4-0. July 13th, 97, a month later, he's back at the Yonkers Raceway again. I don't know if he is a step down or what, but he fights Richard the Alien Grant. Mm-hmm. His nickname is the Alien.
Wait, I know who that guy is.
You know who he is? He's got 3-1 career coming. He's 3-1 coming in. He finishes his career 19-15-1. So he's not
unless there's more alien. Didn't we cover him? Didn't he punch a guy, or did he get punched in the mouth?
I don't remember. Are you thinking of him an MMA guy? Maybe.
No,
I don't remember. This guy,
I think he's the guy that
he kind of looks like Predator a little bit. I think that's why he's calling himself that. So
I think that's the guy that danked.
You might be right.
The bare-fisted punch after a fight.
Was it? Oh,
yeah.
Butler, the one Butler hit? James Butler.
It was James Butler that hit Richard Grant.
You are absolutely right.
That's right.
That's hilarious that you remembered that, but not the guys who we did an hour and a half on. we spoke his name
the victim.
For a second over the course of a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
And that's what you remember. You know what? That's good, though, because you filled in the information we needed. So, actually, you know what? Fuck it. That was perfect. Good job, Jimmie.
I saw the fight. I saw the video. And so he has, like, blonde hair, and his face is... He does look like the Predator. But he got blasted. I've never seen anything like that before. That's why I remember it.
If you've not heard it, go back and listen to the James Butler episode. It's in the first 75 episodes or so. It's early, and but it was when I think we were in a studio already, so I believe so, somewhere after episode 47 but before episode 80, so somewhere in there. But he ended up, Butler sucker punched this guy after he didn't like a decision in the ring and had his gloves off and everything, and just sucker punched this Richard Grant. I mean, absolutely drilled him for no reason, hurt him,
broke his jaw.
Yeah, fucked him up. I mean, it's a bare-fisted punch. Yeah. That
Teddy
the guy's
Atlas
not
was screaming,
expecting.
"Arrest that man!"
It was ridiculous. And Butler ended up killing Max Kellerman's brother. So that's the episode anyway. But listen to that.
Bananas.
So Richard, the alien Grant, he's had quite a bit of experience, I guess, with bad shit. So here he loses to Kabary Salem, and Kabary beats him by TKO. He's 5-0. Kabary is now. He's earning a reputation, Kabary, too, at this point. He's got a bit of a reputation as a good fighter and a tough fighter because he's an older guy. But the problem also, he's known as just an absolute headbutter to the end.
Really?
Everybody that fights him complains that he just headbutts the shit. Evander Holyfield's you to death. Yeah. And if you listen to Evander Holyfield speak nowadays, that's why. It's not even it's not the punches he took, it's the fucking 150 headbutts he delivered over the course of a fucking fight for that many fights, I believe, that fucked him up. Or at least I would hope so. I would hope just fair boxing didn't do it to him. I hope his cheating ended up making his brain into pudding. That's what I'm...
It makes sense. That's the area of the brain that you need, the sides and the front. That's where you need for your motor skills and to function during the day.
Well, all the offensive and defensive linemen from the past that have had, and obviously I'm not a neurologist, clearly, and neither is Jimmie, right? Jimmie, you don't have a background in neurology, do you?
No, and if I did, I forgot it all.
Good. Maybe he did. It's possible. He'll remember one detail about it, but not anything else. Oh, I didn't remember I did that, but I did remember that the brain synapses fire. You'd have some weird... fact. So
that's right. I went to Brown.
I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about. What were we talking about?
Holyfield's stupid brain.
All the old football players, it's because the old style at offensive defensive line, they would immediately butt the front of their heads together. That's on every single play. And they always said that was the impact on the front of the head that did that all the time. And I feel like him constantly bashing his forehead into people can't be good for you. It really can't. So, but Kabary's gaining a reputation as just an incessant headbutter. Just does not stop headbutting. Always
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real, The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Headbutting, people get angry at him for it. There's fights later where he loses points for it. He just doesn't stop. It's just his style. Just one of those things. So anyway, he beats Grant by TKO. He's 5-0 now. August 29th, 97. He's spacing him out nice. This is at City Center in Saratoga Springs.
Yeah.
He fights Eric Harding, whose nickname is Magic 2000. Now,
Oh, boy.
who's going to be more magic is the question. You're fighting the Egyptian magician, and you're Magic 2000. I want to see something happen.
It's a real Copperfield versus Blaine right here. Who's going to disappear?
Somebody better make like the other guy's cut man disappear. You know, that's what I want to see. Poof! What happened to Johnny? Where's Johnny?
I want to see somebody get tossed into the ropes, and then they're like magically tied up by the ropes.
Or they're tied up in the ropes, and then they're not magically. Something like that. Or I want to see them stop in the middle of the ring and make a weird face, and then spin around really fast, but stop in front of you and try to hit you, and then spin around really fast again and come around and hit you.
Just one punch, one punch, one punch, one punch.
But if you block it like 5 times, then he'll just stand there going, I don't know what's going on.
All day.
And then you could just knock him out. One shot will put him down because he's so confused by what happened. That's what I want to see.
He's probably dizzy because he just went around the ring so many times.
That's what I mean. I don't know what happened. So Eric Harding, though, is no joke, Magic Man here. He's got a magically delicious 9-0 record coming in. 9-0-1, one draw here. In his career, he'll end up 23-4-1. So that's very good. That's formidable. Yeah. If I had a pro boxing record of 23-4-1, you'd know about it every episode. Every episode, I'd be like, well, when I was winning 23 professional fights in comparison to losing only 4, I saw it this way every time.
When I won 5 to every 1 loss, this is what was happening.
Actually, a little more than that. Almost 6-1, if I'm being honest here. It was like 5.8-1. It's pretty good. Anyway, when I was having that professionally, also, by the way, did I mention that? You'd never hear, every time Jimmie would be like, I get it, you boxed. Jesus.
You're the only person that knows this, James.
Shut the fuck up. But this is like I played in the majors for 8 years and I had a 280 average. I'd tell you that all the time. I had 280 in the majors, boy. You don't even know.
If I hit 225, I'd tell you every day.
Oh, every day. You go, you know how fucking hard it was? So this is a 6-round fight here. Okay. Goes all 6 rounds. So terrific. Magic on magic. Nobody can move. Irresistible force meets the immovable object.
It's like the end of a movie. It's got to be close. Everybody's got a superpower. You got to use your power against each other.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they were doing. It was the invisible force meets the fucking magical object here. And Kabary loses this fight by unanimous decision. So he is 5-1 now. So, still, I mean, he lost against a tough opponent. So what do you want? Yeah. So his next fight, he is obviously going to find a tomato can that he can beat the living shit out of. Yeah. And he does a good job with this. January 24th, 98. So he takes about 3 months off also, almost 4 months off. And this is at the Elks Lodge in Queens.
Oh, no.
Which is a step down from the Foxwoods, let me tell you.
A little bit.
The Elks Lodge. Yeah. It's like
11 steps.
It's the step down. It's like It's a jump down.
Long way. Yeah,
it's a jump.
He repelled down that.
I'll catch you.
Yeah,
I'll catch you.
Just let go. Kick off the wall on your way down.
I recently saw footage of the Berlin Wall, like right when it came down, like recently, you know, like right when it all happened. And people were like, the wall was like fucking like 9 feet tall. It wasn't a tall wall. It was the fact that it was guarded was the problem. Right. So there was all these people on top, and they were just like, you know, like dancing on top for a second. Then they were like, all right, I guess it's not my turn anymore. Because there was no Instagram in 1990 or whatever, so
just had to live in the moment.
There wasn't people posing for selfies up there for 4 hours. They literally were like, "Yay, this is amazing! Oh my god, I'll never forget this my entire life." And then they move on for someone else to do it, and that was that. Yeah. So they're not that that's better or worse, but you see people once they're
better,
done.
I promise.
I feel like those people, it felt better to them rather than if it's just some picture they'll never look at again.
You ever seen somebody on the beach just taking up all the beach property to do their perfect Instagram picture and then take after take? I almost want to grab their phone and just chuck it in the fucking ocean.
Why are you here?
Yes.
Why?
You don't even like this.
You don't like this. You just want people to go, oh, look at you. You're living your best life. Well, yeah. It's great. I always wanted to be a fucking self-photographer. That's my best life. That's what I wanted to be. Couldn't wait.
I'm going to take a picture of the sun with my back in it.
Yeah, stop taking pictures so much. And we're all guilty of it. We're all on social media and take it. I'm not 80 years old. I'm not, sitting out here. What are you taking pictures of yourself for?
You got one take. That's me.
What I'm saying.
One take. If it turns out great, we'll post it. If not, fuck it. We move along.
And that's the other thing. We've always taken pictures. So it's not like in my day we didn't take pictures. Everybody used to have cameras and shit. We all took pictures. I hate when old people say that. They're like, "Why we didn't take any pictures?" Yeah, you did. Because there's pictures of you back then and pictures of your kids. Because you fucking took pictures. You just film cost money, so you had to decide a little more. You had to have a little more...
Be a little more choosy, yeah.
Yeah, you had to be a little more fucking picky about what pictures you were going to take. It couldn't just be anything because it's just all unlimited digital cloud storage. You had to be like 24 pictures cost $4.69. So do something...
And then another couple bucks to fucking develop it.
And I got to get that big flash thing that plugs into the top of the camera. So do something interesting, kids. I
only got 24 of these.
Yeah.
And this flash burns out too. I don't know how many are left in it.
Yeah. I don't even know. I think there's 4, but it could be 2. I can't tell if these 2 are burned out. I don't even know. And of course, they're like, oh, these kids are self-centered now. These 17-year-old kids are self-centered. What the fuck do you expect? You've been paparazziing these children since their birth. Of course they feel overimportant. How would they not? How would you feel as someone who's older who didn't grow up in that era if everything you did was fucking cataloged by photograph? You would feel like I must be important. There's always people photographing me. Everything I do, I'm eating, and people are like, this is so interesting. How the fuck wouldn't you think that you're the center of the universe if that's how you grew up? I'm sorry, but that's the fucking problem.
That's why I hate me. There are 11 pictures of me prior to a cell phone being invented.
Yes, exactly. There's a few pictures floating around. Like, I think your grandma has a picture of you when you went on the thing on the pony or some shit. That's what you have.
Yeah.
It's just floating. It's not you. People have whole rolls. I had to take 46 fucking pictures of my kid eating to get one that I wanted to post on Instagram. And it's like, oh my God, of course the kid's going to grow up with it constantly. No, like that. No, put it in your mouth. What do you want from this fucking kid? Every kid's going to have the weird, fucked up, broken ego of a child actor. That's what you're creating. All of us. We're all doing it.
As soon as they get their job at Subway, and the franchise owner, who's a piece of shit, just had $40,000 to spend and bought a franchise, and tells your kid he's a turd and can't make a sandwich for shit and fires him. But why? My mom takes all the pictures of me.
I should have had my mom taking pictures of me making sandwiches. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. And that's the thing. And people wonder why they get to adulthood and then no one's taking pictures anymore. And then they're fucking sad. And it's like, yes, obviously, because life is completely different. You had the life of a fucking child actor who then failed. You have the life, you know what I mean? Like you have the life of the blonde kid on Home Improvement. That's your life.
Oh,
that's your life. That's your life. That's.
I think he
the
tours
life.
and does stand-up now, James.
They all took pictures of him, and now he's... Does he really? Jesus Christ.
I think so.
Of course he does. But what I'm saying is that dude disappeared for a while. You didn't see him for a long fucking time for that reason because he got older and people stopped taking pictures of him. Anyway, so that's a sidetrack that probably didn't need to be gone down. But
and it wasn't cute anymore.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. He's more threatening now than anything, I feel like. I don't know. What's his name? Ty or Zach or,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Tolston. No, the other one, the blonde one.
Torsten.
Torsten, I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, Torsten, we got to sit you down, Torsten. At this point, we feel like the tattoo on the neck made you less of more like a 12-year-old. We're not feeling that vibe anymore.
Less approachable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You look more like, prison-level Aryan Brotherhood member, that sort of thing. And that's not what we're going for in a family sitcom. So, anyway, I don't even think we talked about Malcolm Brooks yet.
We didn't.
The Elks Lodge in Queens. Yeah. Sorry. You know what? I don't fucking care. This is for us, and this is for the listeners. Crime and Sports. I'm done trying to get new listeners for Crime and Sports. I'm finished. I don't fucking care.
I think we've gotten to where we're going to get.
Yeah. Swell Time Murder, we build, we do all this. Crime and Sports, we've tried everything to get new listeners to Crime and Sports. It reaches a certain level, and then that's all. So you know what? Fuck it. This is for listeners. That's what we do this shit for listeners.
We do it for you.
Blunt heads, fly ladies, and prisoners, as Nas said. That's what we're doing. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
Fuck it. If you're listening right now, you're one of those 4 groups, so enjoy.
Listeners, blunt heads,
fly ladies, and prisoners. Yeah.
4 groups.
The 4 groups. If you don't fall into the latter 3, then you're a listener. So you're listening. You're in that group. It's fine. But you're definitely, that encompasses everybody. So tweet at us and tell us which one you are. There you go. Please, at Crime and
Perhaps
Sports.
you're a lingerie ripper.
Yeah,
leg
that's
spreader.
Fine. That's fine.
Quick a brain getter. One of those.
Something. Stick to the 4 of the beginning. Otherwise, it's too long of a poll.
It's going to get too much.
Listeners, blunt heads, fly ladies, and prisoners. Let's stick to that. I mean, we could add in Hennessy holders and all, but then then there's the N word comes up and it's bad in the lyrics, so you can't do it. Well, the lyric doesn't end there, but we're going to stick to the 4. So Malcolm Brooks, I don't know which category he falls into, but he's 4-7 coming in, and his final career output is 4-14. So he just never wins another fight. He loses the last 8 fights of his career, this guy.
God,
that is rough. And this is one of them. This is a TKO in round 1. So this is what Kabary needed to get back on his feet here. Yeah. He's 6-1 now. Next one here, he's at the Music Fair in Westbury. I think it's Westbury, New York. March 27th, 1998. So he's at this is outside, I'm going to assume. I'm assuming he's fighting outdoors at this point. John James he fights, who's 4-1 coming in, and retires after he's 5-3-1. Just I don't know, just wasn't feeling it. I don't know. Started a landscaping business and gave up or some shit. Just didn't.
Not as fun as I thought it would be.
You know what? I'm going to paint houses. I'm not into this. Is that sanitation department job still open? Because I'll take it.
Your uncle got you a job as a longshoreman. You gonna box the rest of your life?
Are you gonna fucking box? You know what?
There's a pension over there.
This ain't going no way. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm taking the pension. TK, it's a union job, John. Come on.
You know what your uncle had to go through for this?
Come on.
You know what he had to go through?
I had to pull strings. No, I told you, Paul had his son. He was trying to get him in there. I said, get the fuck out of here. I'm bringing this guy in. You don't fucking appreciate nothing.
Come on, John.
These kids don't appreciate nothing. John, you're a fucking bum. I'm telling you, you don't appreciate it. That's the problem with everybody. Nobody appreciates none. So he's 4-1, whatever. TKO in round 5 for Kabary. 7-1 he's up to. July 26, 98. He's back at the Foxwoods. So here we go. He worked his way back to the casino. And he fights Jamie Dynamite Velasquez.
Yeah.
So Dynamite, very common nickname.
Too common.
Very too common. Now, Dynamite is 11-2 coming in, which is...
Okay.
I mean, it's... I don't know if it's dynamite, but it's decent-amite. It's something.
Kind of might.
Kind of might. He finishes his career, though, 11-7-2, does Velasquez. So he never wins another fight after this. And this is No, not a mite.
No.
None might. Dyna none. He TKO in round 1. So I don't know if this just screwed up Velasquez forever and he couldn't get it out of his head.
Fascinating.
Because after this, it's 4 more losses and 2 draws is the rest of his career. So he just, a lot of guys, that happens, man. First round, they get knocked out in the first round at one point. Their psyche is just fucked forever and they can't fight the same again.
Transfer that into just a normal day job. If you have 7 really awful days in a row, you might quit too.
It's true. That's absolutely. Especially if at the end of those days you're unconscious, that would also be a problem. I've been in the hospital 7 times in a row in this job, 7 straight days. Maybe I should quit. I've been unconscious every day.
The only thing that each of those days have in common is I showed up to work.
That's it. And by the end of it, I didn't remember my kids' names. That's what they had in common. Those 2 things. So
at the end of the day, I'm in a CAT scan machine, so I think I'm done.
But that's it, though. It's the psyche, man. Your psyche gets fucked in boxing. Yeah. If you hesitate, you have to go out there. I mean, obviously, there's the strategy of, you can't be you can't be wild when you're boxing. You have to be very under control, and that's but you can't have fear. You have to know that if I do this, he'll hit me and it'll knock me out. But you can't have fear of it. You have to still operate. You can't hesitate. You can't hesitate that half a millisecond before you punch because you're worried that you're going to open up and have him punch you. That's how you don't win fights. You have to be all reactionary, and you get knocked out in the first round. It takes that away from a lot of guys. A lot of guys ruin their careers. He's 8-1 now, is Kabary. November 25th, 1998. This is at Rhodes on the Pawtucket in Cranston, I believe, Massachusetts, I want to say. It is. Yeah. Versus Derek Whitley again. So it's double impact because he fights everybody twice, maybe. That's why it's double impact. He's like Randy Quaid in Kingpin. He's like, we do everything twice again as hard as you, half again as hard as you. 10 frames, that's for Quakers. That's... One fight. Oh, no, that's for Quakers. He's like, we fight twice every time.
Why were his nipples wet when he came out of the fridge?
I don't know why they're wet. They're frozen. The point is that they keep the freezer at such a low temperature specifically to harden Claudia's nipples so she can distract bowlers who are in big money games. This is a very elaborate plan.
Also, big money game. It's $1,000 a game. It's not even that crazy.
The guy lives in a fucking mansion. That's what I don't understand. He lives in a mansion and has he has a bowling alley in his basement, period. That's
and a Maserati and a Porsche underneath the veranda in front of the house.
Forget about it. This is like, he's like a Scarface kind of kingpin here, and he's like $1,000 a game. $1,000 means nothing to this man.
What are we talking about? And you're going to kick my ass over that grand, you cheap fuck.
You befouled the sanctity of my home or whatever the fuck he said by betting with money you don't even have.
Disrespect the valor of the game or whatever.
I don't remember what it was. Some moral argument.
His home, the game. We shit on everything for $1,000.
He basically just beat the shit out of his girlfriend audibly in another room so everyone could hear it. And then he's got a moral issue with whatever bowling thing these guys are doing. It's
over $1,000.
It's over $1,000. It's a very strange. He's got a weird morality. This guy.
It's going to cost you more than $1,000 for the hospital bill that you just incurred on your fucking girlfriend.
Yeah, you're beating. What are you doing? Or if she calls the cops and the goddamn lawyer bills, it's going to cost you too. Don't hit people. What the hell is wrong with you?
$1,000 for me? That's the problem.
That was an odd part of the movie. That guy was a very weird character.
Over the top. And just, what? Who are they? Why? Why are they cast? That's the worst actor I've ever seen in my life.
He's in all the Farrelly Brothers movies. He's a friend of theirs.
Is he?
He's in Watch. I'm trying to think of what he was in other
Stuck
things.
On Me?
He's in every Farrelly Brothers movie.
Really?
They have a crew of like people from Rhode Island or whatever, from where they're from, that are their buddies that they give roles in everything.
So
even
Adam Sandler's that. Yeah.
Even I
don't know.
God damn it. The big giant one they had. The biggest fucking one they had.
Something About Mary.
There you go. Yeah. I'm like Cameron Diaz with jizz in her hair. Something About Mary. He's in that. This guy.
Is he
He's
really?
In all the movies. Yeah. They always have They always have a crew of guys, right from what was it, outside Providence on through.
Yeah, it's very New England centered because the stand-up guy, the guy from when stand-up stood out.
We are having a bad time
damn
here.
It. We are really not.
And I'm the only one who took edibles. That's the thing, Jimmy.
How do I not know this guy's name? And I do stand up, but I know who the alien is.
Neither of us know this. Neither of us know this stand-up. Well, we do. We both do stand-up, and we have a show about sports, and neither of us can pull either of these people out of our asses.
I can't remember his goddamn name. He's from Boston,
disaster.
very Boston-centered. He did the whole
Larry.
What is it? Lenny.
Lenny Clark.
Yes.
Larry.
So Lenny Clark is in those movies as well, and they love Lenny.
Yeah,
so they put
he's
him up a lot too.
If you're from New England, that makes sense. So anyway, he beats Derek Whitley again. So
yes,
double impact means 2 losses to everybody. Wow, double impact. Goes all 6 rounds though. It's a unanimous decision win. So 9-1 for Kabary. Next time, February 26, 1999, he's back at the Foxwoods, and he's fighting Joseph Larea, who is 14-0 coming in, which is pretty fucking impressive. That's not bad. But he finishes his career 18-2. And this one goes all 10 rounds. This is a 10-rounder here. And I think it's Kabary's first 10-round fight because the last one was only 6. And it's a unanimous decision win for Kabary. So he hands this guy his first loss, and he brings himself to 10-1. Okay. So not too shabby. That's what I mean. He's really tough. Kabary's no pushover. Like, that's one thing about this guy in the ring. Like, I was watching his fights, and he's one of those guys that there's a lot of fighters that are going to say, if you ask them, who was your toughest fight, they're going to say Kabary. Like, there's a lot of guys out there like that because he's very experienced. He's very mature. He grinds into you. He headbutts you. He knows how to take a little cheap shot here and knows how to absorb something. He's got that kind of veteran pain in the assness to him. So April 9th, 99, he is fighting at the Foxwoods again, fighting Steve Ditar. I don't know. 8-6 coming in, so who cares? It's only a 6-round fight, and it's a unanimous decision win again for Kabary. Once he moves up into the light heavyweight, the knockout power is gone for him. He's not knocking guys out in the first anymore. You're seeing all sorts of just, unanimous decision wins.
Yeah.
Because that happens.
Strategy, or is it just he
doesn't have the punching power.
Yeah.
He doesn't have he has the punching power to knock out guys that are this weight, but not this weight. That happens a lot to people when they move up in weight. It's you see it a lot with the lighter weights. You'll see a guy who's fighting at 130 who can actually knock somebody out, knock a couple people out, and then by the time he's fighting 147 5 years later, he's all points. That's all he can do. So this next fight here, anyway, he won that fight. He's 11-1. The next fight is September 12th, 1999. This is at Harrah's Casino.
Oh, yeah.
Kansas City.
Oh, no.
I really sold that, and Jimmy's like, yeah. He's like, he was driving on it, and then it's like,
Vegas.
Oh, that's different. That is different. Not Vegas, not even Atlantic City, for fuck's sake, but Kansas City.
I think I'd rather fight at the MGM in Detroit.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. I like
Harrah's in Kansas City.
That's not good. I like Detroit. And Kansas City is one of those places it's super tough because we do a show there and the fucking crowd is great and all the people are really nice.
They're awesome.
That place sucks otherwise. It's like I don't even know. It's like a field. The whole place feels like a giant field that they were like, we'll just build some houses here. It's so fucking weird, that place. It's a strange place.
There's a river right there. We'll put a big bridge on it. Everybody, you'll at night you'll be able to see cars going into downtown.
Cool,
They'll be like 12, but it'll be great.
But yeah, you'll see them. It's going to be still way better than Omaha, though. I mean, makes Omaha makes Kansas City look like just a springtime Parisian stroll. That's what it looks like. It's fucking ridiculous. So Harrah's in Kansas City. He fights Randy the Natural Carver. Okay. So he's the Carver here, the Natural. Now, Randy is 23-0-1 coming into this fight. Okay. So Randy he ain't to be trifled with, is what it seems like to me. That's a That's a bad man, 23-0-1. It takes a lot to get there. And he is a former Golden Gloves champion. He was also the North American Federation, so the NABF super middleweight champion as well. And he is 23-0-1 coming in. So this fight, this is a war. This fight,
it's a real fight.
Apparently, Salem was over and beyond with the headbutts in this fight. He was just headbutting the shit out of people, out of Carver, not anybody else. Like he went to ringside.
Jesus, James, what did he do? Jumped out of the ring, just started blasting people.
Wait till you hear another time. He actually did headbutt someone who wasn't the fucking other fighter, which is amazing. But he, that would be awesome. Just jumped out of the ring, started headbutting spectators in the front row.
Blasting the whole front row.
Some guy in a suit with a scotch and soda in his hand just fucking headbutt right to the bridge of the nose. Pow!
It's supposed to be a gentleman's sport, sir.
That's it.
Wow! Sucker.
Grab his blonde wife. Pow! One for her, too. Just like going nuts. People are like, what the fuck, man? Lost his shit. So, but in the early rounds, though, apparently this was just a headbutt festival. Carver ends up getting knocked down in the 10th round after an overhand right. So an overhand right from Salem knocks him to the ground in the 10th. He tries to get up to his feet. Carver does. You can tell he's trying to get up. He tries to get up to his feet 4 separate times.
Oh.
Gets up, falls down, gets up, falls down. Like can't get up all the way to his feet. You know what I mean? Like
That's
he'll get like
shot.
part of the way up, bam, down again. So 4 different times before the ref finally waves it off and says like, I don't think he's getting up and he's going to be okay to finish the match probably.
Even if he did get up after 4 attempts like that,
yeah, I think
can't let that guy.
No, that's over at that point.
You're going to get that man murdered tonight.
Yeah, well, he tries to get up after 4 times, and then after the 4th time, he just loses consciousness and falls down, and he's out cold after that. So he can't. He's out at that point. He's still out. They take him to the hospital because he's unconscious. He remains unconscious, and he undergoes emergency brain surgery.
Oh my God!
That night, and he remains in the hospital for 2 more days, and then finally 2 days later at 10:30 a.m. he's removed from life support systems and dies.
He died
at 25 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So I guess 23-1 for Carver, but still, that's obviously beside the point. But just to keep it, I'm anal, I got to keep my stats going. But
would you feel? Would you feel on top of the world being that you're strong enough to kill somebody,
Nope.
or would you feel like just a piece of shit?
I don't know if you can feel either way. I feel like if you're a boxer, you have to have kind of a it's all in the game mentality. Yeah. Otherwise, you'll lose your killer instinct.
Bruce Willis in Pulp Fiction, he knew the risks when he stepped in the ring kind of thing?
You have to. Otherwise, that's like if you accidentally bean somebody in baseball and hurt them. Well, you can't worry about that. You got to throw the ball just as hard, just on the inside of the plate on the next pitch. It doesn't fucking matter. You have to. So, I mean, you can't really do that. But as a human being, you obviously, I would hope, would feel fucking terrible that you've killed a 25-year-old man. Even though it's obviously he didn't like pick up a chair and hit him and then he died. He did it within the rules of boxing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except for the fact that people around boxing start saying that all of these early round headbutts contributed to this possibly because it was more abuse. So that's what starts coming out. They start doing all of that. The Missouri Athletic Commission director, Randy Singer, calls for a videotape review and investigation of the match following reports that Carver was dehydrated before going into the ring because he forced himself to lose 11 pounds the week prior to reach the weight limit.
11 pounds in a week
that is not abnormal.
What?
That's very normal, man.
Is it?
That's absolutely normal. I mean, it's better. You when you see a fight like that, you usually the guy who's fighting closer to his weight is obviously to his walking around weight. Yeah, a lot of guys, if you fight at 147, your walking around weight is 155. That's how you're walking around, and then you're cutting 8 pounds of liquids, and then you're rehydrating again after the weigh-in and getting back up. When you end up coming into the fight, you're 153 probably. Jesus. So that's what ends up happening. 2 guys at 147 during the fight, they're 153 and 152. You know, it's stupid.
To drop 11 though seems
it's not good for you.
That's dangerous as fuck, man.
To drop 11 and then fight for 10 rounds. Right. That's not good. I mean, to drop 11 and then sit in the couch, maybe, but not to then go out there and fight and sweat and get beat and all that sort of shit. So that was one of the things. They talk about all of this, and the referee, though, Ross Strata, he said he disputed the number of headbutts that people say should have prompted it, because a lot of the Carver people are saying that the referee should have stopped the fight in the middle of the fight and disqualified Salem, or started taking points away from him or something, because he was headbutting constantly, and it should have never got to this.
At least try to mitigate head injury that he's incurring at the moment. From breaking the rules.
And that's the thing. And he ended up, and the thing is, he never was penalized for headbutting. He was penalized twice in the early rounds, Salem was, but not for headbutting. That's the thing. For other shit he was doing.
Blows or whatever.
Everything he does is dirty. Maybe a rabbit punch, who knows? I mean, all of his shit's dirty, but that's not what he was getting that for. And now Strata, the referee, said, quote, "It was a hard fight to referee, but if there was something excessive, I would have stopped it." And that's when you get a veteran in there who knows what he's doing. That is very hard to fight, because they're like, it's almost like a wrestling match where obviously the referee in a wrestling match is in on it, but you know, the guy is like pulls something out of his trunks and he's hiding it away from the referee while the referee's doing that. That's what happens in a boxing match. They know how to position themselves to get away from the referee's sight line to give you a fucking shot, to hit you in the kidney. It's just the thing that happens.
Let Paul Bearer hit somebody with a mic stand.
Yes, to hit him with the urn, you have to set the guy up properly.
Right.
Otherwise, the ashes will fly out everywhere, and then you've lost your power source. Then what happens?
And the ref will see that for sure.
Oh, forget about it. He's going to see the cloud of dust flying. Like Mr. Fuji back in the day, or anybody that would throw the salt back in the day. I remember seeing like he wasn't wrestling when I was a kid, but when he was a manager even, he'd throw the salt sometimes, Fuji, and it would be a giant cloud, and the ref would turn around and everything would be fine. They did the same thing with Yokozuna. Yeah. Giant cloud in the air of dust, and the ref's just went 1, 2, 3. Where'd that come from? Is there a biological fucking attack on Is the building under an anthrax attack at the moment? What's going on in the ring? There's not even a thought.
Was a dirty bomb just landed in the ring of a WWF match?
I feel like it has been. Because the one guy's just on the ground holding his eyes going, and then the other guy's pinning him like nothing happened.
Well, a guy in the corner just laughs and laughs and laughs.
Yeah, with his hand covered in salt and flour.
Right. Unless that man's eyes spontaneously combust into dust, something just happened.
Into dust. Poof. So, anyway, the ref said, though, he would have stopped it. And Carver here was a big-time hero in Kansas City. That was his area. Yeah. And so this happened in front of his home crowd. His family was there. His friends were there. Also people, children who he was coaching, because he spent his off time coaching children in boxing and teaching boxing to children.
Could a nicer man have died?
Seems like a nice guy so far. I didn't look him up if he's also been arrested for like rape 4 times or anything, but
yeah.
From what everybody says, from what everybody says, he was like a hero in Kansas City. Seriously, he seems like everybody liked this dude, and he was a real well-respected guy who, gave back to the community and shit. So he was regarded as a local hero. Like I said, spent time teaching boxing. He ordered his manager to buy a ringside table for this fight so some of the children he coached could come watch the bout.
Yikes.
Out of his own purse. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah, they got to watch him.
Buy a table for these children to watch the worst thing that they're ever going to see.
To watch their hero be beaten to death before their very eyes.
to watch me become Apollo Creed.
Really get him close, though. If I want my sweat to land on them, they can keep that as a souvenir of their dead mentor.
I remember as a child sitting in the theater, I thought, if only Apollo managed me and taught me how to box, this could be a really poignant moment.
No, never thought about that.
Could change the world.
It really could be. Oh, my God. So, anyway, that's what happened, and that's so sad. His aunt, Carver's aunt, Sharon White, she said that also, because he was such a generous guy, his organs were donated as well because he's so goddamn generous.
He was amazing.
He was an organ donor also.
Of a man.
Also
Not the brain.
an organ
Please,
donor,
don't give anybody the brain, but everything else. James, is there another Carver? Is there
there's a bunch of Carvers. There's a lot of Carvers, yeah. Carver's a common fighter name. Yeah, no. This Randy Carver, I mean, this happened in 99, and it was a kind of a big deal. So you might have heard of it at the time, honestly. Because for a while, this was like they'd kind of evoke his name when they would discuss like stopping fights on time and getting it, not letting them go too far. You don't want to end up with another Randy Carver situation here. Like
there's a James Carver, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is fucking sad stuff, though. He's I don't even know what to say about that. That's just awful. And he's to have the kids there and his mom there and all of this awful shit. It's just like, good
worst
Lord.
Case scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking horrible. And his aunt said, quote, "He was a very nice boy, a good family man. We're stunned, but this gives us some closure." Having a funeral gave him some closure. So they buried him. And, that's that for Randy Carver. That is an awful. I don't know how you'd be the same as a boxer if that happened to you.
I wouldn't be the same as a parent. You know what I mean?
I meant if you're just the guy who killed a guy. I don't know.
Yeah, if you're Salem, right?
I don't think you could be exactly the same dude anymore. I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't know if I couldn't anyway. Probably, I'd be like, well, I don't want to kill this guy or nothing.
You'd have to just resign it as a freak accident or is over, or it makes you fearsome with your overhand right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, would you subconsciously pull it a little? You know what I mean?
No choice.
Pull it a little bit. I don't want to kill this guy. You can't do that in boxing because you'll get killed at that point. You'll get beat then. Unless
you've got the old Butch mentality of he knew the risks when he stepped in the ring. I don't feel nothing.
I guess so, man. So anyway, February 16th, 2000, so very shortly after that, a lawsuit is filed when against the casino by the mother of Randy Carver.
Yeah.
They're suing, I believe, both, the suit's filed by her, and it names Harrah's North Kansas City Casino, promoter America Presents, referee Ross Strada, ringside physician Michael Papa, and Carver's trainer manager George Smith for not throwing in the towel. So basically all the people who had the power to stop the fight.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head,
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Yep. The people who hired the people who had the power to stop the fight and the people who had the power to stop the fight are all
unbelievable
in this whole thing. They said, quote, the lawsuit, this is one of the family's lawyers, Tim Dollar is his name. Mm-hmm. If you're suing a casino for money, hire Tim Dollar to get that shit, because I'm sorry, there couldn't be a better name of a man to fucking sue a casino.
Was John Victory not available? Was that
John Victory?
What about
Tim Dollar?
Was Tim Shekels not available?
No, I believe he was going to go by George Superstar, but they said it was a little on the nose. Tim Dollar. He said, quote, the lawsuit alleges that each one of these defendants contributed to the death of Randy Carver. To what degree each one contributed will be a matter for the jury. So if the jury, it's kind of like that Marty Jannetty case that we talked about where he hurt that guy in the ring. It wasn't his fault. The guy didn't know how to fucking take a move because they didn't teach him properly. They hired a guy who wasn't qualified to be in the ring, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the jury ended up deciding this is the award this person gets, and this person's this percent responsible, this person's that percent responsible, and they divvied up the payments like that.
Split through percentages.
So they made WWE the most responsible in that particular case. But in this one, they're looking for all of that. That's how they want it to be split up. I assume you want the casino to be the main person who takes it on the chin because they're the ones who have the money.
The deepest pockets for sure. Yeah.
The deepest pockets, and they actually have to pay you. They can't just go bankrupt and go away somewhere. They're the Harris Corporation. Like they have to pay you.
Even if this place doesn't have the money, the one in Vegas for sure has the money.
Someone in that fucking golden trough has the money, is what I'm saying, and they're going to pay you for that shit. So they said that among the allegations, the lawsuit says that Strada failed to stop the fight to protect Carver from, quote, frequent and repeated headbutts. So they're going to litigate the headbutts, actually. And it also accused Strada of failing to summon the ringside doctor in a timely manner when he went down at the end.
That's a fascinating lawsuit. And it's going to set precedent if they win.
It's interesting. Dollar said... Dollar bill y'all said, quote, we believe that regulations that are enacted to prevent injuries such as these were violated, and the lawsuit alleges this fight should have been stopped. Dollar bill y'all. That's right, motherfucker. Make it rain. That's how he ends every one of his statements, and the reporters are just like, Jesus.
He should have got his brother to also go to law school and then find a friend named Bill, and they could go by Dollar and Bill.
Dollar and Bill. That would be... great. You hire them.
Backed up with lawsuits.
Yeah. You fucking hire them when you want to sue a casino, at least just that. So, he said the fight should have been stopped. Strada ruled that the headbutts were all accidental headbutts, so that's why there was no penalization, and it wasn't a big deal, which... If a guy headbutts you 50 times, it's not an accident anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how they fight. They're really good at making it look like an accident. They're like a catcher who knows how to take a pitch on the outside corner and move his glove slightly in and kind of take it and act like you're going with the ball and framing it perfectly when it's not quite there. That's gamesmanship, and that's exactly the same thing that they do in boxing when they're fucking these little headbutts that look accidental. Oh, that's an accident.
And that's a tough lawsuit because then you've got 12 people who now it's their opinion whether or not that's accidental or intentional.
And that's the problem also is they're not going to have a jury of 12 boxing experts.
No.
These are 12 regular people who don't know anything about anything. And that's what happened in all the wrestling lawsuits, too. Every time somebody sues someone in wrestling, pretty much, it ends up being the jury or the judge will go, we don't understand what the fuck's going on here. We don't understand. This has literally been judgments where they go, we don't understand what part is real and what part is fake and what part is what, and we don't know what's going on. So, no, we're not deciding this. Next case. They've literally done that a million times.
That's
and boxing's almost the same way. It's so intricate. To a layman sitting there, if they go, well, that's an accidental headbutt, you go, well, the referee obviously knows an accidental headbutt as opposed to an on purpose. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't even watch boxing. That's what people would say. So, according to the rules of the NABF, which was the sanctioning body of this particular fight, a fighter can lose points for intentional headbutting, obviously, but he must be warned, an official warning, not just a, hey, watch your head, because that's refs will say shit like that, but an
they
official
back them up and
warning.
To the judges.
That's a warning. It's an official warning. They must be officially warned at least twice before he can be disqualified. And Salem was not warned at all.
Not once.
Yeah, so he's saying that he couldn't have been obviously disqualified for a headbutt before he was, warned twice. Mm-hmm. So they were accused, basically here. The doctor and the trainer were accused in the lawsuit of failing to stop the fight and for failing to provide for providing inadequate medical attention to Randy Carver. Lawsuit also says that as promoters of the fight, Harrah's and America Presents are, quote, vicariously liable for the negligence of defendant Strada and defendant Papa, the ref and the doctor. So, I mean, this is a very interesting lawsuit, honestly.
Sure is.
It really is. It's a trip to think about it like that. This, you don't think about sports and injuries being like this at all, but there are people responsible too.
Right. And where an injury can change the course of sports forever.
Yeah, it happens all the time. Yeah. I mean, that's different equipment comes in when things happen. I mean, so every time a race car driver kills themselves, they come up with some fucking new neck protecting thing to protect them every time, back in the day.
And then the older men bitch about it because this restricts my ability to drive and nobody wants change, but they're not. If they die, their family's going to wish that they would just fucking listen.
Put the harness thing on or whatever the shit. Yeah, it's true. Baseball, they used to wear fucking hats at the plate until a bunch of people's brains got scrambled and they went, we could probably make a helmet, right? And just stick one of those on. And then they got better over time. They put an ear flap on there because guys were getting drilled in the ears and shit. And oh man, if only I had a helmet piece down there.
Now they've got like a piece on their forearm that wraps around their elbow in case they take a dinger off the elbow. Because I imagine that could destroy your career.
Fuck yeah. And then also hockey goalies. There's a reason why on the goalie mask there's a little piece of plastic dangling. A little dangler that's to protect your fucking Adam's apple from a direct puck contact because that happened.
Your fucking larynx and keep you from exploding your neck.
That happened in like 82 or 83. I want to say the goalie, who was it? Maybe Quebec or somebody. I don't remember. One of those Canadian fucking teams. But he got hit right in the throat with a fucking puck. Dropped to the ground, couldn't fucking breathe. He was blue. He almost died. They had to I think they had to stick a pen in his throat or something to get air, and it was, he was giving him like a tracheotomy out of it. It was crazy because on the ice, because he was dying on the ice. He was fucking kicking around, acting. It was fucking nuts. So
I'm sure.
Everything that happens, they said, what if we put a 3-cent piece of plastic there that would protect someone from choking to death? Think maybe that would help? Sure, why not?
Sports and rules and equipment are all created and written in blood. It's all your brothers that died on that field that created that stuff or injured on the field, whatever. It's just blood that's the reason you wear it.
It's kind of every rule in society and life took place because of an incident. You know what I mean?
It's all written in blood.
Yeah, people look back and they go, oh, man, look at like 200 years ago. There was like no rules. You could do anything. That's because shit hadn't happened yet.
Right.
Every time shit happened, they'd go, oh, well, people can't be allowed to do that, right? No, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. And
there was no rules, but the gutters were full of blood. So calm down.
Yeah, it was terrible. It's bad stuff. It was bad. So, look at a Tombstone had no rules, and look what happened there.
Just blood in the streets every day, all day.
Yep. So eventually this case is decided in favor of the defendants. They completely exonerate the referee and everybody else, and even Kabary, Salem, everything for any blame in the death. They say this is... Any sport where you go in and the goal is to punch and be punched in the head, this is a possibility of happening, and that's tough shit, basically. Yeah. I mean, they basically said it would have to be intentional. It would have to be it would have to be an intentional thing on Salem's part, and it would have to be so negligent on the part of the referee that Salem would have to be swinging his fucking head back and forth at him like a psychopath, and this guy not calling any.
And getting back to like in criminal cases when they say like you did this, what did you expect was going to happen? Of course they're dead. Like if you nudge somebody in the head or whack them, you don't expect them to die.
No, especially in a boxing ring, a little headbutt, you don't expect him to die, considering you just punched him as hard as you could right in the fucking nose 10 seconds before that, and he still stood there and looked at you and tried to hit you back, as a matter of fact. So
I whacked him with a 3-inch head smack. That's not like I'm not Bruce Lee with a 3-inch punch. I'm not gonna. It's not gonna do as much damage as my a fucking 4-foot punch where I drag it back as far as I can,
put my whole body
throw
into
it as fast as I can.
Really put my hip into it too. I mean, really
all the power
transfer
came from my legs.
Transfer the torque, right. Really like the scientific, really rock it out.
How fucking hard can I torque my head with my neck muscles?
Yeah, just a little dink. It's those little dinks. But if you dink a guy 40 times around the same spot, he's got a lump on his head now, and he's got a sore spot in his head.
Yeah.
And maybe some brain damage, as a matter of fact. But
for both of you.
For the fellas. So they have been exonerated from any blame here. And Kabary doesn't give a fuck. He's fighting again a couple months later.
Wow.
May 25th, 2000. He's in Allentown, Pennsylvania. You want to hear the glamorous venue for this one?
Yikes.
The Days Inn, Jimmy.
Get out of here.
How do you box at a Days Inn?
The Days Inn at in the Sunset Room or something? What is that?
Maybe they put plywood over the pool and you just built a ring around. I have no idea how you would make a Days Inn a palatable place.
Just in the parking lot?
Where do people sit?
Yeah.
I've never been to a Days Inn that has adequate seating for a sporting event. Have you?
No.
Ever?
The nice part, James, that there's lounge chairs and a waitress that brings you drinks.
I guess so.
With an umbrella.
So it's the Days Inn in Allentown, which is where you go if you're like, is he like on the lam? Is this like hiding?
Just passing through.
Just passing through. He's fighting under an assumed name or some shit. I don't know what's happening here. So he fights Andre Haddock, who's 14-2 coming in. And this ends up being his last fight. But he does survive, though. It's not his last fight because he's dead, thankfully. Whew. Yeah, that's good. It's a TKO in the second round. So Kabary went the opposite way. Rather than pulling punches, this is like he smelled blood in the water after this guy died.
Like a shark.
This is the first early knockout he's had in a long fucking time. And it's against a guy who's 14-2, for Christ's sake. So,
good Lord.
I mean, he's killed, then retired his last two opponents. It's not bad.
And they were, between the two of them, they've got almost 40 fights.
Yeah, they're not suckers.
No,
40
wins.
Between the two of them, they were 37-2-1 coming into the fights with Kabary, and he killed one and retired the other.
He should be a contender right now, right?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know. So September 23rd, 2000, he's back at the Days Inn again. They must have a great setup there, man. Yeah. I'm going back. I'm fucking
using their miles, James.
It's great. You do get the AARP discount for the tickets if you check in, or AAA or whatever. I don't know, whatever discounts your parents get at hotels. Yeah. I remember like my grandmother would have all that shit, my AARP and all that stuff, and get that magazine that just comes to your house magically when you turn like 55. Remember that? All the old people.
James, I got it when I was 38, and I was like, how fucking dare you?
Modern maturity?
To me. AARP sent to me when I was 38. Now,
that's amazing.
Enroll now. How about go fuck yourself?
Apparently, though, you get like crazy fucking discounts. I've read about that laughing where like 30-year-old people enroll in it, and just because you'll get like 15% off a hotel room or 20% off at a rental car place, like crazy discounts for fucking being an AARP when you're 30 and working every day.
That's a tough way for me, being cheap, but also like
having to whip
a
that
little
card
bit
out.
Of dignity.
Boom. AARP, sonny boy.
We're the same age, sir. I get it. Just give me my room
but
key.
I feel older. I don't know. But you know what the other thing is? People be like, you look amazing. People will be telling you all the time, you look unbelievable. I just want to say, sir, you look amazing. You always say, you're sad. You're like, I am aging like shit. I'm out in the sun. I got fucking hair and I'm, fucking getting wrinkles and this shit. But for 55, you look great. You look fucking amazing for 55. Like you are.
I'll take the
seriously.
Take the ego stroke from a 32-year-old kid that works at a hotel.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, dude, you are fucking smoking. I'm gonna hook you up with my grandma. You mind if I give you her number? Because she would go head over heels for you. I can't believe you're the same age. Can't believe you're the same. I would think. 40 maybe, but not 55. That's pretty incredible. So, he's fighting there back at the Days Inn on September 23rd, fighting Fabian Garcia.
Yeah.
So Fabian Garcia, 18-14-1 coming in, 18-16-1 career. So he fights one more fight after this fight and then goes, I'm done with this. So he should change his name from the Egyptian magician to the retiring opponents guy or some shit. I don't know.
He's got it right. He's the Egyptian that magician, but making careers disappear.
That's it. He's the evaporator. So the career evaporator. So Fabian here, a unanimous decision win for Kabary against Fabian Garcia, 14-1 for him. November 9th, 2000, he is fighting where? The Days Inn.
Oh, my.
The fucking Days Inn again. What the hell is going on here? He's fighting Andre Sherrod, who comes into this fight 8-23, which is a bad record. How is this guy even getting a chance against him? I don't know. It's at the Days Inn. Crazy things happen.
Okay.
There. It's you know how it goes. You check into the Days Inn and anything's possible. 8-23, his house is 14-1 at that point.
He just loves making his own waffle in the morning. That's all. It's great. I get to box and then I get to make a waffle in the morning. You ever seen that? You just flip it over. Done.
It's great. You don't even have to know how to cook. It's wonderful. I'll tell you what. I also want one of those blueberry muffins wrapped up, those tiny ones.
Little Otis Spunkmeyer. The low bites?
Thanks for my Otis Spunkmeyer. The chocolate chip ones that are just overwhelmingly chocolate. Yeah, we stay in a lot of shitty hotels, as you can tell.
That's right. Yeah.
So we know all about the Spunkmeyers. I don't want anything with the words. I'm not eating something with the word spunk in it. I'm sorry.
I can't believe since Jizz was called Spunk, they hung on to it.
Yeah.
Change the just call him Otis.
Otis sounds like a guy who would spunk on your cookies too. That's the other problem. I spunked in your muffin for you. And like, thanks, Otis. You know,
appreciate you, Otis.
As he tips his bowler cap to you,
tips his derby at you.
Spunked in your muffin, governor, and he tips his fucking his bowler at you. That's
not white chocolate chips.
What happened?
Gross.
Spunkmeyer. Spunk. Oh, no.
It's amazing that those are still in business. They should have just been like, it's called what? All right, we'll close.
We'll close down now. Never mind.
We've had a good run.
Spinkmeyer? What do you say? Just change the U to an I? Spankmeyer?
I didn't even call it Spankmeyer. Spankmeyer's better than Spunk.
It is. Spank is better than Spunk. It really is.
Jeez.
But it's Spunkmeyer is the worst name for it. It's only because they have all these hotel contracts to feed idiots like us this shit-free breakfast with that tiny fucking bagel. It's not a bagel.
It's because it's free for us and it barely costs that hotel a dime.
That's it. If it wasn't for us traveling around doing live shows, there would be no Spunkmeyer. That's what it's all hotel contracts.
They'd just fold.
That's it. So Andre Sherrod, 8-23 coming in, 8-26 for his career. So again, he doesn't last much longer. This is a first round knockout for Kabary. So blood is in the water for him. 15-1 for Kabary. Next fight, January 25th, 2002, and this is back at the Days Inn again. What does he have, like a 5-picture deal at the Days Inn?
It's got to be some sort of rapid rewards. It's got to be. Yeah. There's no other explanation.
It doesn't even feel like he signed with like a boxing promoter, like Don King or somebody. He just signed with the Days Inn. Like the Days Inn is out there signing fighters because they're going to run cards now. Like, it's very strange what's going on here. So January 25th, back at the Days Inn, versus Troy Barnes, who is 6-8-2 coming in, and this will be his last fight as well.
This is it.
So this is it. I mean, I got to go back because in the beginning he retired all those guys too. Right. He has retired or killed like
more fighters than anybody. Yeah,
half of his fight, at least half of his fights.
I don't think we've ever had as many as this.
No, you're just as likely to be killed or retired than to
lose.
Go on and be fine after a fight with him. That's not great here. So this fight goes all 8 rounds. It's an 8-round fight for some reason. That's a weird number, but it's a unanimous decision for Kabary. If you retire someone, I think that's unanimously. You beat their ass probably. So April 9th, 2002, he's out of the Days Inn. He broke away from the Days Inn. I don't know if this other chain just fucking
Circuit, the Best Western,
just like bought him away, but he's at the Ramada Inn this time now. He's at the fucking Ramada. His next fight's going to be at the Red Roof in Des Moines. Like, what is happening?
Just running the economy hotels of America.
He's going to be at the Travel Lodge in July. Come see me. Yeah. The Roadway Inn is coming.
Yeah, at the Roadway in Duluth.
Yeah, it's happening. Again, all hotels we've stayed at. So, plenty. So, April 9th, 2002, the Ramada Inn in Rosemont. I think it's Rosemont in Illinois. Illinois. This is for the vacant NABF super middleweight title. So this is just that above middleweight. I think it's, 168, I want to say this weight class is. And then 177 is cruiserweight or whatever. So he fights Antoine Kid Dynamite Eccles.
You motherfucker.
No. That's not even Dynamite. You
don't get to do that.
No, you're literally using Mike Tyson's nickname. You can't.
Literally stealing it. In what year? 98?
98, yeah. No, 2002. No. This is 2002. No.
Absolutely not.
Tyson was still fighting at this point. This is insanity. You can't take his name. Yeah, he's not a kid anymore, but you can't just take his name.
No.
He is fucking Kid Dynamite.
You should have to fight him for that.
And you fight 1986 Mike Tyson for that.
Yeah.
Unless you're knocking guys out of the ring with one punch 30 seconds into a fight, you're not Kid Dynamite, and I don't want to hear it. But he actually is a good record, 26-4-1.
Still no.
Fine, but no. He finishes his career 32-22-4.
Whoa, it went off the rails.
Bad. He won 6 fights and lost 18 and had 3 draws in his next. Wow. And this fight... This is the turning point in Eccles' career, is the fight against Salem. And Salem accused of headbutting Eccles through the entire fight. Really? Eccles complained about it. His corner complained about it. After the fight, they complained. People complained. It was like all they talked about was the headbutts throughout this whole entire 12-round fight. And that goes all 12 rounds, unanimous decision because it's for a belt. And unanimous decision loss for Kabary. Wow. So they give the fight to Eccles, but Eccles, from there on, like we said, from there on, he's a completely different guy. He wins. After this fight, he goes 5-18-3 for the rest of his career.
Fuck.
Just falls apart after being headbutted consistently for fucking 12 rounds, basically.
Maybe that lawsuit had something right.
This constant headbutting is worse than these blows to the head are making. I don't know if worse or just as bad.
It looks like it.
Based on this, he's making guys go in a different way as a fighter. So he's 16-2 now. Kabary is. So he went from the Ramada Inn in Rosemont. So he was touring the economy hotels.
Yeah.
So you figure, but he's also been at the Foxwoods, but now he's lost. So where do you go down from the Ramada Inn in Rosemont?
Jesus. Where in Florida does he fight?
Well, Jimmie, I'll tell you where he goes. On June 15th, 2002, he's fighting at the Chambersburg High School in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
What?
Yeah, he's in like a high school gym.
Like taking on the toughest senior or something? What do you do?
This is Bobby Joe.
He's also the senior quarterback.
Can't get it out. Yeah. Bobby Joe Bannister's the starting middle linebacker on the team. He's the toughest darn fella this high school's ever produced. He would like to fight you in a ring made of bales of hay. Now, we're not going to wear boxing gloves.
The winner gets the key to the city and the homecoming queen.
You get to do whatever you want to her. We don't care. I mean, that's what you get her. You get her. Get her is getting her is what we're talking about. And it ain't going to be boxing gloves so much as like a farm glove, like a burlap work glove is what y'all going to be wearing.
Well, one of you will, because we only have two of them. We're going to have to duct tape throw pillows to the other one.
Well, it's all right. We'll figure it out now. So it seems like it. He fights Robert Marsh, who's 7-14 coming in.
Yeah.
Robert Marsh, and he's 7-14 coming in, and he's failing chemistry. So he's got to pick up the pace if he wants to graduate in June. This is a problem.
7-14 with a 3.2 GPA.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's June 15th, 2002, so it's the end of the school year. This is his biology final. Yeah. This is his brain damage thesis that he's writing, basically. If he can get through this, he graduates. That's how it works.
See, what happened is he had the flu during the finals of PE, and we just ran a mile. So so he's just going to make it up here. Some extra
credit.
Make
it up here. It's fine. So this guy's 7-14-1 coming in, like we said. From this fight on, the rest of his career record ends up being 11-45-3. After this fight, he went 4. So he went 4-30-3 after this fight.
Shit.
4 wins, 30 losses, and 3 draws after this fight.
That's unbelievable.
That's wild.
What is Salem doing to people?
That's what I mean. Is he? I feel like he's like, it's like he's sexually assaulting them in there, like taking away, like, you know what I mean? Like he's fucking up their psyches or something.
Unbelievable mental trauma that they just can't overcome later.
Got PTSD, or is like, I don't know what he's doing to these people. I don't know if he does it before the fight or after the fight. He beats you, and then when you're taking your tape off, he comes in the back and like just fucks your face unmercifully. I don't know what is happening over here, but
try fighting after that.
Yeah, just screaming at you like that, huh? Yeah, he's just screaming.
Have an Otis Spunkmeyer.
Yeah. I give you Spunkmeyer like hotel. He just goes off. I don't know.
Throws them a muffin and tells them to clean themselves up.
Yeah. Suck it up with this. And just throws a blueberry muffin on his chest. Individually wrapped blueberry muffin. Down on his chest. There you go. So, Jesus Christ. So, anyway, Robert Marsh, this fight goes all 6 rounds, by the way. Wow. Unanimous decision win for Kabary. He's just punishing people. 17-2. His next fight, September 6th, 2002, he fights, this is at the Chambersburg High School again. Yeah. You thought that's bad. It's about to get worse in the next one, I swear to God. It's a worse, look, one of the worst sounding places to have a boxing match I've ever heard. So, Chambersburg High School.
Like a tutor time?
It's almost for adults, kind of, yeah. He fights Lloyd Jabba Bryan, Jabba.
Yeah, like the Hut.
Like the Hut, as in the Hut Bryan. I don't know. I guess he's a heavier set gentleman. 20-9 coming in, and this fight goes all 6 rounds again. And it's a unanimous decision for Kabary again. And this guy, after this fight, he's 20 wins, 9 losses coming in. After the fight, he will be 2-7 and retire.
What?
I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just. I don't know if his management is so good at figuring out people that just went over their hump. You know what I mean? That just jumped the shark, or if he's like got the most amazing clairvoyant fucking timing ever, or if this guy like just ruins people. I can't tell what the difference is.
He's just got Gray Star, where he finds the guys right at their grace, and he's like, right here's where we can send them on down the hill.
Gray Star. I like that. He knows.
Yeah.
That's a good word. Gray Star. Now, September the 27th, 2002 is his next fight, which is closest we've seen. It's only 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So this seems like one of those where somebody else got like dropped out and they offered it to him quick, and he's like, fuck it, I'm still in shape. Let's do it. One of those. So this is at the the Fraternal Order of Eagles in Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania.
They haven't even gotten Moose Club status. They're the Eagle Club.
There's a bunch of dudes sitting there dressed like the Always Sunny guys coming to the wrestling ring on that one episode. They have like bird hats and like little like feathered winged backpack things.
Or it's like, is this like the Eagle Scouts Club? Like all these guys made Eagle Scout and they all get to go to this?
Maybe Fraternal Order of the Eagles, flying high above all the other social clubs. Flying high above the Oddfellows. Flying high above the whatever the fuck other social clubs. The Knights of Columbus.
We sit in the stands and tie knots.
That's what we do. Fraternal Order of Eagles. Jesus Christ. In Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania.
It's got to be something about Eagle Scouts, right? What else is there?
I don't know. I mean, well, they have Fraternal Order of Moose and Elks, and that's what they all are. So it's probably just another animal they picked. And in Pennsylvania out there, this is like Fraternal Order of Hall beer drinking country, where guys, go down there, they put a stupid hat on and drink 15 beers with their fucking pals and then drive home. That's what this place is. So there's probably a shitload of these.
This is in Pennsylvania again?
Fairless Hills, Pennsylvania.
I'll bet you what this is somebody that used to be a member of the Elks Lodge and got kicked out of there for being too drunk a few times. And you're like, I'll fucking create my own. This is Pennsylvania. We'll be the fucking Eagles.
You know what's better? It could just peck the shit out of your fucking elk from the sky, an eagle. And you know what? Hold on, I'm gonna write this down. Eagles pecking the shit. That's gonna be our logo. It's an eagle pecking a moose from just pecking him, and a little squirt of blood coming out. Anyway, when we're doing this, the thing is, we gotta have rules because it is a fraternal order, so there needs to be order. That's what I'm saying. Order's in there. Rule number 1: you may drink as much as you goddamn well please. You hear that, Chuck? You hear it?
Rule number 2, every Sunday, the Eagles game is on. I don't give a fuck who's playing.
That's the other thing. Maybe it has something to do with...
I'll bet it has everything to do with...
Eastern Pennsylvania.
Somebody came in drunk as fuck and was like, put the Eagles game on. And the other guy's like, it's the playoffs. They didn't make it. We're watching the Cowboys. He's like, fuck you. I'll start my own.
It's always time for the Eagles here. So
put a camera on Donovan McNabb's couch and I'll watch that. Fuck the Cowboys.
I don't give a shit. I'll just watch him make a fruit salad in his kitchen. I don't give a shit.
Fuck Troy Aikman.
Slice cherries in half. I don't give a shit. You understand me?
Troy Aikman is announcing the game. He's not even... I don't care.
I don't care. I don't like him. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
I hope that's how it happened.
At the Fraternal Order of Eagles, he fights Tyrone Sugarfeet Glover.
Okay. Well,
Sugarfeet.
You should have played soccer
footwork.
Then, sir.
Sugarfeet.
You're not allowed to use those here.
But I do love that. Well, he's like, I have something to do with how good my hands are. My last name's already Glover, so I feel like that's covered. I think he's like, so we're going to go with Sugarfeet. That way all my bases
might be going
are
overboard if I say sugar fists or sugar hands or sugar paws.
Hands Glover. Then it's like hands and hands. It's a lot of hands. So how do I tell people that all of me is sweet? So I know. So he's 10-4-2 coming into this, and he finishes his career 11-9-3. After this fight, he has 1 win and 5 fucking losses.
There's something happening.
There's something going on here. Kabary wins this fight, unanimous decision, all 10 rounds. He just wears people down and ruins them over the course of a fight. Yeah. 19-2 now for Kabary. Now, January 9th, 2003, at the Zembo Shrine in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, he's fighting for the vacant WBO, and NABO super middleweight titles. Two of them. He could walk away a fucking champion here. Yeah. He fights Manu Nato, N-T-O-H, Nato. Wow. Manu Nato, who's 11-4 coming in. 11-4 coming in, so promising. His career after this, he ends up with a career record of 17-20-1.
What the shit, man?
So after this fight, he goes 6-15-1 after this fight.
Salem's just a great boxer, man. He destroys people.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's breaking their spirit, their physical body. I don't know what they're doing, but holy shit, this fight goes all 12, and it's a unanimous decision win, again, for Kabary. He is now 20-2. So pretty fucking good 20-2. That's not
Absolutely,
bad.
yeah.
People he lost to are no pushovers either.
No.
So
And he
he's doing
destroyed
pretty well.
like 16 guys in those 20 fights.
And he killed a man who was a real contender. He
that
killed
too.
an undefeated contender. So
Right.
you got to look at all this. Grace. This is
Yeah.
grace for Kabary. Now
pretty
you'd
impressive.
imagine grace would be before he murdered his first opponent, but no. We're going to put grace here. I feel like everything's coming late in this episode. I'm telling you. This episode should be called Wait for It.
Yeah.
It's coming.
He hasn't been even arrested yet. He's been doing great.
People are like, we're an hour 45 into this. Where's the fucking crime? All I hear is sports. Just trust us. Just trust. I get it. We got a lot of comedy in the sports, did we not? You didn't have to like sports to like the comedy. Tons of jokes. Because the end of this fucking episode, this is like a Bob Newhart routine. You ever hear an old Bob Newhart routine?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to study like old-timey comedy, and Bob Newhart would tell like this fucking 4-minute joke that then would have this punchline that was so amazing that it made 4 minutes of a story leading up to it worth it.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? Where people were like, oh my fucking God, they were choking and dying and going like Def Jam level crazy because that's what this episode is.
Like the Norm Macdonald moth joke.
That's what this episode is, exactly. So, April 5th, 2003, at the Sovereign Center in Trenton. I hope that's not like those people who are traveling in their vehicle.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to do that. I was reading about an idiot recently who tried to do that shit in court.
Really?
Yeah, they were trying to give her, like, bail. And she was like, I won't abide by any of this because the laws of the country don't apply to me because I'm a sovereign citizen and I wasn't doing this. I was doing this. And the judge went, okay, well, we're putting you back in jail then because if you won't agree to any of the terms of the bail, then you can fucking sit in jail and be sovereign in there. Enjoy. Be sovereign, you and your cellmate there. So you're not even sovereign in a 6x8 fucking concrete box, stupid.
There's a thing that people are doing now that are, I don't know if they're so mailmen are sending me these pictures, these cards that religious people put in their box that claim them to be a sovereign, and there's I don't know, man, here's your phone bill. What the fuck do you why are you warning me that that you're sovereign? I don't give a fuck.
Good,
pay your
so
water bill. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's, you know what, you don't want it in your mailbox, great, I'll drive by like the guy in Funny Farm and fucking throw it out the window cackling as I drive by at 45
sovereign
miles an hour.
fuck.
Yeah, you sovereign piece of shit, and I'll just throw it out of the window.
I don't know, man. Here's your penny saver. Eat shit.
Yeah.
What are you telling the mailman for?
Right? That's what I mean. What are you doing?
Strange. And they fucking tape it to the box inside so that when the mailman opens the door, they see it. And it's like a common thing.
Who cares?
Who gives a fuck?
Like the mailman gives a shit what your stupid opinions are. You can't just declare yourself shit, by the way.
Right.
I can't declare myself 7'3". You know what I mean? I'd like to be 7'3", and you'd like to be, quote, sovereign, but neither of those things are reality, asshole. So if you want to be so fucking sovereign, here's what you can do. Make about $100 million, buy a fucking island, and you're sovereign. Enjoy. Enjoy turning salt water into drinkable water and have a fucking nice life. You're as sovereign as you want. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and do everything that everyone else has to do, you stupid asshole.
Until the
Stop
nearest
wasting our time.
country with a fucking army or any sort of military might takes your shit from you.
Yes. You're not.
Then you can come in right back here to accept your phone bill. Shut the fuck up.
Take your fucking phone bill in stride, you asshole. Take your Pizza Hut coupons and get in your house. You stupid dickhead like the rest of us.
Take your ads for window upgrades to your rental apartment as if you can even upgrade those.
Is that even legal? No.
Right now. Just take this mail and throw it away and shut up.
Here, stupid. Take it and shut up. So I would have no problem with a mailman doing that, by the way. Just saying, I don't have time for this.
We don't deliver to this country. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. We don't deliver to assholevania. We're going to keep going. Pennsylvania's closed today. Sorry, I'm going to keep on driving.
Shitbag doesn't have a zip code or an area code that I've heard of. I'm sorry.
New Twatsburg is not on my route. I apologize. So,
New Foxport.
You're not getting any of it. You should. So he's fighting Ray Stingray. So his name is Stingray.
Hate him already.
Stingray Berry. So
Why couldn't it have been him that died?
Yeah, why couldn't he kill a guy with a stupid name? The Natural's a cool name.
Right.
So Stingray Berry, whom we wish death upon for some reason, he comes into the fight. Listen to this, Jimmy. 19-9-2. Okay? Oh. Now, he loses this fight. Kabary beats him. It's a TKO in the 10th round.
Yeah.
Kabary's 21-2. You know what his record is after this fight? He finishes his career. After this, he goes 0-10 and retires.
Oh, my.
He never wins another fight. After this fight, his final record's 19-20-2. He literally lost 10 in a row and retired.
It's never happened. Nobody's ever done this before.
Just absolutely destroyed a guy. You want to hear a blast from the past and what the fuck? June 19, 2003 at Michael's 8th Avenue. I don't know if it's like a sandwich shop or something. That's like a coffee place or
I don't know. He's fighting between the bird feeders and the crochet aisle. Michael's.
No, he's fighting in front of Michael's house there. The guy who lives on 8th Avenue. It's right in front of his house. He's just fighting out in front of the stoop. They're just, you know where Michael lives on 8th Avenue. Right there.
I was thinking that just Joanne's couldn't get him because they needed more money, so he just went to Michael's.
Joanne's couldn't get him.
And he refused to fight at Hobby Lobby because those bastards won't give women the right to get their abortion meds. So they're, abortion. It's not even abortion meds. It's just birth control.
Birth control pills.
But that's what they think it is. So that's where he drew the line. Fuck Hobby Lobby, and Joanne won't give me the goddamn money. Michael's it is.
Michael's it is. Which one? 8th Avenue. I like that one the best. Best selection.
Store 1280 on 8th Ave.
Best selection of fake flowers going, I'm telling you right now. You freshen up your fucking room every few days. You put some new ones down and everybody thinks they're fresh. Jesus Christ. All you need is like 4 or 5 sets of them.
And fighting out of the silk flowers aisle 8.
Fighting out of the home glues corner.
Fighting out of the letter aisle.
What the fuck, dude? Wow. So he's fighting Derek Double Impact Whitley again. Triple impact.
How about triple? Yeah.
Derek broke his rule for once. He needed to fight Kabary so badly that he broke his rule, and he's going to give triple impact. Yeah. This fight goes all 10 again. So another decision with him. Last time it was a unanimous decision. Yeah. He knocked him out. Kabary knocked him out the first time. Second time, Kabary won by unanimous decision. This time it goes all 10, and Kabary wins by split decision. So if Derek fights him one more time, he can get the win, I feel like.
Yeah, it's getting closer and closer.
One more time, then he gets the split decision. Then he'll get a unanimous, and then he'll eventually knock Kabary out if in the fourth.
6 fights.
In the 8th, in the ocho of this ochology.
The ochology.
The ochology of this entire series of fights.
There's never been an ochology. It'll look amazing.
It's gonna look great. No one has ever wanted to see 2 people fight 8 fucking times except for now. I really want to see it. So, hey, Kabary's 22-2, which ain't a bad record. It's not bad. What the fuck are these venues? October 23rd, 2003. He's fighting at the Princess Chateau in Lodi, New Jersey.
What?
The Princess Chateau. What the fuck is that? Is
that Lodi or is it Lodi?
Lodi, I don't know which one. Lodi, either one. Lodi is California, though. Yeah, but that's California out there. I don't know. It could be pronounced different here. Who the fuck knows? New Jersey over there.
Could be their Peru.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows? So it's, either way, he's fighting at the Princess Chateau.
Whatever that is.
Whatever the fuck that is. He's fighting Kenny Bowman, who is 31-6 coming in. And he only has one more fight after this fight. But that's a long career, 31-6 already. He ends up 31-8 because Kabary knocks him out in 25 seconds.
Wow.
TKO. So the ref stops the fight 25 seconds in.
He doesn't even want to see anymore.
Wow. How badly do you have to be whooping someone's ass in 20 seconds to make someone jump in between you and be like, no more. Holy shit. Well, like even on the street, a fight lasts longer than that. You know, like that's fucking. That is a flash, just done. Oh shit. So anyway, 23-2. March 13th, 2004, he's in Denmark.
Yeah.
Oh boy, fighting in Denmark, going overseas. It's big, long way from Chambersburg High School here. Mm-hmm. He fights Rudy Hard Hitter Markuson.
Okay.
I feel like maybe in whatever language country he's from,
cooler.
it's probably it probably translates to hard hitter, but it's like maybe cooler than just hard hitter. Now, hard hitter is 28-1 coming into this fight.
Okay.
So hard hitter's no goddamn joke apparently here. And this fight, he'll end up finishing his career, by the way, hard hitter at 39-4. So he's a bad motherfucker, this guy.
Yeah.
He is tough. He hits hard. That's what happens. Apparently, there's an accidental, quote-unquote, accidental headbutt from Kabary in this fight that opens up an enormous cut on Markuson's head. And the fight has to be stopped due to the cut. It's so bad. He fucking gashed him with a headbutt.
How accidental
real bad
can that be?
Yeah.
With it laid open that hard.
It's bad. And, for anybody else, I mean, maybe they misjudged each other, but when it's this guy who all he does is headbutt, it's like, well, you don't really...
par for the course.
Don't really get the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, it's kind of par for the course, Chief. So this fight's a no contest. So nothing. It doesn't count for shit. So 23-2 still for our guy here, Kabary. Now, May 8th, 2004, he's in Germany. Look at him. Yeah. He's fighting Mario Veit, Veit, which is mixing the most Italian and the most German name together. Mario Veit. That's very
fascinating.
Yeah. Now, Mario Veit is 42-1 coming into this fight.
Boy.
That is not to be fucking trifled with there. 42-1. Finishes his career 49-4.
Wow.
So that's a bad fucking dude, man. During this fight, Salem is penalized 2 points for intentionally headbutting Mario Veit. Keep that in mind. 2 points, which that's every judge takes 2 fucking points off. So at the end, when they tally their rounds, 2 points. And in another headbutt in this match, that wasn't the only headbutts didn't go to the opponent in this match. Salem broke the referee's nose with a headbutt.
What?
Yeah, what he said was an accidental headbutt with the referee.
How do you even get to that point?
I don't know if he acted like he was going one way when the referee was coming in or what. You know how referees move. If you're a boxer that's boxed this much, you know exactly where a referee's going to move if you move. So
absolutely,
it's hard to. The referee becomes like just second nature. The referee's he goes in places. All the refs pretty much work the same way when they're getting angles. They all have to see the same angles. So especially when there's tie-ups and shit, all the refs go to the same place. You know where they're coming from. Come on, man. You're aware of the ring. So I've never seen it before. Put it that way.
Yeah. I've never seen a ref get blasted in the face with a headbutt.
In all of the boxing I've ever watched and looked at, even studied, looked at this shit, I've never even heard of a referee getting hit to the point of drawing blood with a headbutt from a fucking boxer ever. And he broke this fucking guy's nose.
I don't think I've even seen him catch contact square, whether it's any sort of blow, punch or anything. I've seen him get grazed.
I've seen a referee get in the middle of a post of after the bell scuffle and get popped on the way in when they step in front of a punch, but in the arm and shit, never just drilled.
Not square.
Not a broken nose, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So this fight goes all 12. It's a split decision, so very, very close, and Salem loses.
Uh-oh.
By the way, on one of the scorecards, because it's 3 judges, 2 of them voted for that guy, one of them for Salem. On one of the scorecards, he lost by 1 point.
1 point. So he would have won minus the headbutt.
Minus the headbutt, the 2 points, he would have won this bout by split decision instead of lost the bout by split decision. So it's a big difference and teaches you probably maybe don't fucking headbutt so much. So upcoming fight, he's fighting Joe Calzaghe, who is a bad motherfucker. He's a really tough guy. Coming into this fight, he's 37-0.
Jesus.
And his whole career, he was 46-0.
Oh, boy.
Calzaghe's a bad motherfucker.
How do you quit ever when you're doing that great?
I don't know. His last 2 fights, because there's nobody to fight. That's why there's no money in it anymore. If you beat the opponents with names and nobody cares about that weight class. His last 2 fights were wins over Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
Granted, when they were
on their way down.
On their way down, but still, you got to be even if you're a good fighter, you sleep on one of those guys, whether they're old or not, they will fuck you up. Like, those guys are as pro as you get. So
I don't want to fight either of them.
No, I don't care. I don't want to fight them when they're 70. Those guys, they'll still kick your ass. So I mean, Hopkins did like prison time. That he's
a bad man. Yeah.
So Calzaghe, though, there's a lot of publicity before the fight about headbutting. And Calzaghe doesn't want to be headbutted, and he is worried that Kabary is going to be dirty. Basically, his strategy is to make this a big public issue, so everybody's going to be headbutting will be under a microscope.
Keep an eye on it, yeah.
So they'll keep an eye on it. So that way you don't have to say it happened after it happened. You can say, look, and then you can go, see? Look what he's doing. He's doing it right now. So all this type of shit. Calzaghe here, this will be it's going to be the first championship fight to be hosted by the Scottish capital. Interesting. Look at that. So good for you. Anyway, Calzaghe will equal the British record for world title defenses if he wins the fight too.
Really?
So, yeah, this is for like a big thing. Also, he said, though, he doesn't want to be headbutted is what he's most thinking about. And he says that he was thinking about, joining the heavyweight and all that sort of thing. And what he says about Kabary is, quote, Salem is big and strong and has never been stopped. He's never been knocked out, Kabary, ever. We've never heard of him being hurt. Not only is he tough, but he's also rough and comes in with his head low as an extra weapon. That's a concern. I'll have to step back, fight on the back foot, and keep him at arm's length so I can use my boxing skills to full effect. Yeah, if you're a guy who likes to get inside, you got to deal with his head in your face the whole time. So, yeah.
Is that common things to say in boxing interviews? Because I feel like he just gave away his whole game plan.
Well, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, if he was going to do some big surprise thing, no. But, I mean, there's really nothing Salem can do about that. If he says, he can say, I'm going to keep you at arm's length and box you. If the guy can't get near him, he's going to keep him at arm's length and box him. There's nothing he can do about it. I mean, Salem can then...
He could say that to his face in the ring. Guess what I'm gonna do today?
Yeah. This is it. There's nothing you can do. It's not like a football team where they would then change the defense. You know what I mean? Like, he's just taller. So, October 22nd, 2004, he is fighting the Pride of Wales. He's called here, Joe the Italian Dragon Calzaghe. So. He's an English Italian guy, which is hilarious.
The Pride of Wales, and I proclaim my Italianness.
Yep, I'm the Pride of Wales, the Italian Dragon. Sure. Why not? So like we said, 37-0 coming into this bitch. This is pretty awesome here. Now, Calzaghe, I guess they both get... Salem goes down in the 12th round. Calzaghe goes down in the 4th round. Oh. He actually knocks Calzaghe down. This is a great fight. I actually watched this fight, and he gives Calzaghe every fucking thing that he wants. I mean, this is his toughest fight of his entire career.
Yeah.
Till this point and till the end of his career. Like this was a close one. It goes all 12 rounds.
Wow.
And it's a unanimous decision, but put it this way, I don't think the Italian Dragon wants to fight Kabary again. He's one of those. Yeah, it's like the end of Rocky 1, where he's like, we'll do this again, and he's like, no thanks. Apollo's like, I'm good. It's one of those like, no, I beat you, but it was a pain in the ass, so I'm not really interested in that right now. It's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So now September 16th, 2005, here in Montreal.
Canada?
This is for Canada. Yeah, this is for the vacant World Boxing Council, so WBC, Continental America's super middleweight title, and the NABF super middleweight title. No one ever has any of these belts. They're always vacant, all of them. Well, when guys move up a weight class, they vacate the belt. That's what happens. That's why they're vacant. They don't just give them away.
Right.
I don't want to be your champ anymore.
Had enough of this. Yeah.
Had enough. He fights Lucian Butte, who is 13-0 coming in. Yeah. So promising. And he finishes his career 32-5. So he ended up doing
boxer.
pretty well here. This fight only goes into the 8th round where it is stopped, and it is a TKO loss for Kabary.
Really?
So this is the first time a fight's ever been stopped on him. Or Salem. Yeah, Kabary.
Yeah.
Did I say Kabary? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kabary. Yeah.
Kabary. Salem.
Who's the Italian guy? It just sounded Italian.
Calzaghe. Joey Calzone over there. The Italian dragon, Joey Calzone.
All these ethnic names. I'm too white for this.
It's too much, Jimmy. It's too much. So, Lucian is the first one to have a fight stopped on Kabary. So Kabary ends up retiring. That's it.
What?
That's it. He retires. That's, I guess. Well, at the same time, Christ, he's almost 40. He's fucking 37 years old,
and he's lost 2 fights.
He's lost 2. This is his 3rd fight. He's lost a couple of fights. Calzaghe's 23-5.
No, I mean directly in a row.
Yeah. He lost 2 in a row against really good contenders. So it's like, if you want to stick around and not just be a journeyman making $500 in an Elks Hall somewhere,
right?
You got to beat these guys. If you can't, that's your fate. So you can retire or go fight in an Elks Lodge. Enjoy. Call the Fraternal Order of the Eagles again and see what they're up to. So
not this Sunday. You got the Eagles game.
We can't fight on Sundays. Not Saturday nights either because we're getting ready for the Eagles game. So it's now. Time goes by. September of 2005 is his last bout, and he has a family, as he had children before that. He was married and had children while he was boxing and doing all that stuff, and building a life here in the States and everything. Living in, believe New Jersey. He's living, and. So all this goes on, and you really don't hear a lot from him until October 24th, 2009, when a body is found. A dead body is found along a popular running trail in the Bloomingdale Park area, by passersby. This is in Staten Island. So Bloomingdale Park area on the morning, it's 9 a.m. October 24th, 2019. They found a body covered in leaves, like just on the side of the road, fully clothed, covered in leaves. Like somebody definitely covered it up, but
buried,
fully clothed. And it turns out here that this body is Kabary's 25-year-old daughter.
Oh no!
Here, his daughter Ola Salem, and that's who this turns out to be. She's fully clothed, dumped on the side of the road here, which is obviously fucking horrible. I mean, Jesus
awful,
Christ, that is terrible. They end up finding when they find her there, they figure out that this is not the site of the murder. This isn't the crime scene. They know that right away because there's no blood or anything like that or signs of struggle or any of that. But they also find drag marks near where they found her as well. So
that's a good clue.
Obviously, somebody dragged her off the side of the road here. Now, this is a 138-acre park she's found in. That's over. It's like 10 miles from. It's about 10 miles from where she lives here, and they don't know the significance of this spot. She's only 25 years old, so same age as Randy Carver.
Right.
So, and they haven't determined where she was killed, obviously. It's all they say is from what they've gathered, the detectives believe that it wasn't a random killing. They don't think it was a random killing the way it was. No, she's not robbed. She's not raped. She's just, it's some sort of person, not a random thing, something personal. Now, she has some people that could have been mad at her. That's the thing. She works as an advocate for women who are embroiled in domestic violence.
Oh, Jesus.
As a volunteer at I'm never going to pronounce this right, the ICEA Women's Center.
Yep.
So that's where she works. And they find out the cause of death is asphyxiation due to compression of her neck. So she's strangled is what that is there. The people that work with her, she also, I think this place she worked was a Muslim women's shelter, women and family shelter, which a lot of times in that culture, if it's like very fundamentalist and you don't want to be a part of that, violence is a thing. And that's not, I'm not trying to fucking take, cheap whatever shot. That's the way it's happened before. It happens. So
it's called an honor killing.
I don't even mean that. I just mean that violence against women is not a real...
Oh, that's just every day, it seems like.
Yeah, in certain situations.
In
not
extremism.
In all extremism.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. In absolute extremism, there's nobody... It's all the
women
laws
have
of
a
what's
role
going on.
in that, in the extremist side. Right.
Exactly. So all of this is going on here. She was the first volunteer at this place, apparently, when it first opened. Her boss or her friend here said, quote, she was so emotionally intelligent. She could look at someone and know exactly what they're feeling and know exactly what to do to make that person smile. So, apparently everybody there, this is a safe house dedicated specifically to Muslim women fleeing domestic violence. Okay. It has 20 beds, and they do emotional support and all that sort of thing, and medical needs, and try to help you, job placement, whatever they have to do to try to help women here. They have GoFundMe pages and all that sort of stuff. Her friend also said she was so headstrong, so passionate about domestic violence survivors. She had an incredible level of humility. So she was also very much into the community. She did all the charity stuff. She did a lot of events for the Muslim American Society. She also did a lot of breast cancer stuff where she was organizing
stuff. Good
community stuff. Yeah. What breast cancer walks and all that shit she'd organize and raise money for. And her boss said any event that happened, she was usually the first person there. She had actually there was some publicity early in her life when she was 17 in 2011. She was at the Playland Park in Rye, New York, and she was told by workers that she couldn't go on a ride because of her hijab there, and so she asked to speak with management, and it ended up being a giant kerfluffle, and people got in fist fights, and it was a melee. 15 people ended up being arrested over this whole thing. And she was mad because she said it was about my religion and they were discriminatory. It wasn't about my headgear. And she heard them saying things, and I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but so she's not afraid is what I'm getting at. She's 17 and she's not afraid to be outspoken then. So they're looking into who the fuck could have did this to this woman. First person that comes up is her ex-husband.
Okay.
She's got an ex-husband, and she also, not only does she have an ex-husband, she has an ex-husband and a restraining order against said ex-husband.
Boy, that makes him suspect number one.
So that's going to put him up to the top of the pile, I would assume, here. Now, her husband also had an order of protection against her.
Oh.
So we don't know what the situation was, but it was evident, obviously, there's some shit going on in their marriage, clearly. Right. If you got double impact protection orders.
Restraining order pissing match here? This is crazy.
Your restraining order squared. This is
You
weird.
don't restrain me, I'll restrain you.
I restrain you. You don't order me to be protected. I order you to be protected. So she moved out and lived with her family. At one point during her marriage, she actually sought shelter in the place that she volunteered at. So it comes full circle for her. That's why she's so passionate about it. And so people obviously are thinking, this guy obviously fucking killed her. Jesus Christ. Now, but the investigation continues. Her family here, they live in the Shore Acres neighborhood in Staten Island. Her mother had no comment, and her brother said that obviously her death's been very hard on the family and, that sort of thing. So they asked the neighbors, did you see anything going on at her house that would have, made you think that people were going to murder her? And one of the neighbors said, quote, I've seen a lot of commotion. This is a guy who lives across the street. He said he saw and heard two men and a woman arguing in front of the Salem home a couple weeks before her death.
Okay.
So that's what they're saying. He said, quote, there were two men. One was getting a little violent, I thought. The other one had to put a stop to the violence or his anger. So apparently there was two men. One of them tried to attack her, or not her, a woman that was out there, to the point where the other man had to restrain the guy from beating a woman in the street, which is fucking bonkers.
No matter who you are, that's ridiculous.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
So other neighbors said they remembered seeing police cars in front of the house multiple times in the last year as well. One woman who lived in the neighborhood said she walked past the home every day, and she says that it's very terrifying to hear somebody got killed and taken from here, and it worries her walking around. She said it's sad, very, very sad. Well, yeah, 25-year-old girl got killed. Now, they asked Kabary what he thinks, and Kabary has some insight on the whole thing.
Oh,
Kabary says that just over a week after she was discovered dead, he said, this is when he comes to the New York Times talks to him, and he talks to them, and he says that she had been complaining to him about being worried that people were following her on the highway when she was driving. She said a vehicle was constantly following her. She kept telling me some particular person was following her, and she was worried about it. Okay. So that's what he has to say. He says, quote, she always said somebody would follow her. I want to know what happened, what the reason is for that, but no one tells me. I am just waiting. She was a really good, beautiful girl. So he's obviously waiting for answers like everybody else to know what the fuck happened to his daughter. A lot of people in the neighborhood said, though, that there was a lot of problems at that location at the house. There was cops there, people yelling outside, that sort of thing. They said there was one incident in which a bunch of neighbors believed that she was taken away in an ambulance from her home as well. They don't know for what reason, but she was taken. The NYPD confirmed that officers had been called to the Salem home 5 times in the past year. 5 times.
Every 2 months they get 2 months and 2 weeks. You got a cop at your door?
You're back for reasons including a violation of an order of protection and criminal contempt.
Okay.
So this is all going very badly. Ola and her family, and they seem to have some tension at the time too. At the time, her family, Ola's family, had an active order of protection against her, against Ola at some point too, members of her family, which is, I don't know any details of that, but that's what came out in the media, so I'm not sure. So months go by. That was October. Yeah. No arrests, no clues, no nothing. March 31st, 2020, on an Instagram account listed as, quote, the official Instagram of former champion of the world, Kabary Salem. He says, I miss you and love you. R.I.P. My love, Ola Kabary Salem. Mm-hmm. So, he's putting like tribute posts to his daughter up.
That was in 2020?
Like this is 2020, March 31st, 2020. This is during quarantine he's doing this. This is during fucking COVID. So 2020 here continues, and they're trying to figure it out. They said that the police have one person of interest, but at this point they're no longer in the United States, so they got to work out that angle. They said that the case remains under very active investigation and all this shit. And he says, quote, we will do our best to bring the perpetrator of that terrible crime to justice, but it does have some issues. Now, they say that this person, they believe, has fled to the Middle East, and they say that the only thing they'll say is they do not believe that Ola and this person were romantically linked. They knew each other. Mm-hmm. They said they'll confirm that they knew each other, but not that they're romantically linked.
Okay.
So not her husband, not a boyfriend is what they're saying there. So they said there's no motive yet. He said, quote, this is the spokesperson, I don't think at this point we really have a solid motive. We really don't know what precipitated it. Now, December 3rd, 2020, they have a little clearer idea of what happened to Ola now. They believe she was murdered in Pennsylvania. She was in Pennsylvania where Kabary was opening a diner out there, and she was out there helping him do stuff to open the diner. So that's why she was in Pennsylvania to begin with. And apparently she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
She had a boyfriend.
She's still married?
No. She's divorced. It's her ex-husband.
All right.
Or I don't know if she's whatever, but that's not the issue that she's... Okay. That guy's gone, the ex-husband. I don't know if they're officially divorced or whatever, but she has a boyfriend now, Ola. So good for her for moving on. Problem is, Kabary does not like this young man at all. They said, quote, this is a police source, Quote, we believe the father found out she was still dating the boyfriend and not complying with the Muslim religion.
Okay.
So she wasn't doing the things that he thought she should do in terms of her religious duties.
Obligations, yeah.
So then the source went on to say, quote, he plotted this whole thing out.
No.
Surveillance video. Investigators were able to track Kabary's movements before Ola's body was discovered. And then they went back and looked over inconsistent statements that he gave that did not match up with some of the evidence and the surveillance.
There's a guy that didn't listen to Serial.
Not at all. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The footage was presented to the Staten Island DA, and they decided to charge Kabary Salem with the murder of his own fucking daughter.
Unbelievable.
Okay, now, we've heard of a lot of people doing a lot of fucked up shit.
Yeah.
We've never heard of someone murdering their child and dumping them on the side of a fucking running path and covering them with leaves. We've never heard of that. Never. They'll hide them in the basement. They'll bury them in the yard. They'll put them in a room. They'll just leave them where they are and say someone else did it. You don't leave anybody with any that's not even something your brain knows why it's doing it, but you don't leave your child out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just don't. No one wants that. So that's fucking gross.
Dead giveaway, truly, is when he started giving, like, places she could be or things that could have happened.
Yep.
When you're
too helpful,
you shut your fucking mouth and don't give, and not regardless of whether or not you did it.
Yep.
You shut the fuck up, because otherwise you're giving police information of things to chase. And why don't you just shut up and let them follow the evidence?
That's the thing. And a week later, all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh yeah, now I remember her saying people were following her. That could be something." And they're like,
"Shut up,
really?
man."
So the key to the investigation was the discovery that Kabary Salem had rented an automobile from Avis on October 22nd. A regulation enforcement. Oh, never mind. Previously, he told investigators that he had pushed, that he had taken. Oh, that's right. He said he took her to New York from their, like his car. He said he'd used. He's been using his car. He didn't say that he rented a car.
Right.
And they found out he rented a car. So they then discovered his daughter's cell phone in his car, like his regular car.
Yeah.
And
That's not good.
Kabary said that she must have forgot it when he dropped her off at home. That's what happened.
Kids do that. People do that. If
all
I
the
forget
time.
my cell phone anywhere, I'm coming right the fuck back.
That's what I mean. You can't even buy anything. You got stuff in there.
Right.
So the officials said that detectives found out that Kabary Salem used the rental automobile to journey to Staten Island, and together, apparently that Jesus Christ, he paid like some homeless guy to help him put his daughter there.
Wow.
He just paid some homeless guy to help him do this, apparently. And
that is so gross.
Yep, he went away, acted cool for about a week, and then took off. And they ended up arresting him in Kuwait. That's where they got him. So that's where they ended up getting him, all the way to fucking Kuwait. And then they have to, with the help of the State Department and Interpol, they had to extradite him to New York after they quarantined him because it's COVID. So there's a lot of complications here.
Son of a bitch. They're lucky to have him.
That's what I mean. They're lucky they even got him. They apparently sometime between October 23rd and 4th is when they think, somewhere in that day is when he killed her, drove to Staten Island, dragged her body onto Bloomingdale Park, because he drove her all the way from Pennsylvania.
Right. 2
over
states
here.
over, man.
Yeah, covered her with leaves and branches and left her there. That's wild, man. That's just fucking...
He had to cross bridges. He drove so far.
He's there, and all these
Christ,
people.
Man.
Can you imagine? I mean, fuck. And then he's in Kuwait. And the fucked up thing is, when he's in Kuwait, I mean, we're talking Interpol and State Department and all these people, and they weren't even the first person to find him. You know who the first person to find him was? Andrew Theron, ice cream marketing expert and scam hunter extraordinaire. Andrew Theron, and he says... How is it you come to arrive here, pal?
Unbelievable.
What's wrong with you? Yeah, that's right. I came through the window. That's right. I did. Yeah, that's the consequences when you're doing this type of shit, Patty. That's right, pal. Yeah, you killed your daughter. I'm going to rape your wife. How's that sound? Oh, what do you think of that, pal? Yeah. You get your head button away from me, buddy. I don't even... You butt your head somewhere else, because I tell you what, pal, ain't going to work with me. No, I'm a little too sharp for that. That's right. I come correct, mister. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even park outside. That's why I was down the street. You can't even see me coming.
I was already here. I beat you here.
I was on the roof for the last 4 hours waiting for you. I was waiting for you to come in. I heard you in here. Boom, grappling hook. That's what happens, buddy. That's right. You fucking bum. You're a fucking bum.
Can't get away
Killing
from
your
me.
daughter? Your fucking daughters? Your daughter? You fucking scumbags. You're a scumbag. Yeah, you are. I'm telling you, pal. Nah, I'm going to go to Dunkin' and I ain't getting you a fucking thing. That's right. You can kiss my ass, buddy.
I'm going to run over to Cumbies. I ain't getting you shit.
That's right. I'll be raping your wife. Goodbye, pal. And poof, back on his grappling hook, he somehow swings himself back onto the roof and he's gone. And Kabary is... It's like, I thought I was the magician. Holy shit. That guy's amazing.
Unbelievably, the real Andrew messaged me this week.
He's the best. I love this guy.
And he told me, hey, any way you can help me get... Because goddamn Joel Tucker he fled sentencing in Kansas City. He wound up in Denver. He writes me, he goes, hey, Tucker's getting on a plane at 6:05 from
tracked down
Denver
his flight
to Kansas City.
He's looking at passenger manifest.
He's driving a Jeep Rubicon. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
What are you doing, man? I love this guy so much. He's the best. I'm telling you.
But then
He's
the
the
FBI
best.
got him, and he was sentenced to 12 and a half years. So Joel Tucker is gone for quite some time.
He's gone. And look at this. I mean, that we couldn't find him. No one could find this guy all over the planet. Andrew Theron had to bust through his window in Kuwait and then alert the State Department and Interpol because only he could find him.
Hey,
Only
I got him.
he could
He's
find
over
him.
here.
He's over here, everybody. Let's go. Come on. So he's tracked there. This is all the fugitive task force gets him. He's arrested and charged with murder in the second degree, manslaughter in the first degree, concealment of a human corpse, and strangulation.
Wow.
He is being held without any bond at all. And the district attorney said, throughout the course of this case, we have never lost hope that the alleged killer would be arrested and charged. We will continue to work tirelessly to hold this defendant accountable for the brutal act of violence he has been accused of committing against his own daughter. And they think it was basically an honor killing type of thing.
That's disgusting, man.
They think it was because she wasn't following the tenets of Islam because she was going out with some guy and didn't listen to her and didn't listen to him and what he said. And there you go. So that's that. Can't get enough of Kabary Salem.
Oh, we've had plenty.
I think I've had enough of him. But if you really need him that bad, you can get an autographed indexed card.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them on there. It just says
He's not sentenced
Kabary.
yet, is he?
No, he's not. He hasn't gotten to trial. He's not. He's still all alleged. This is all alleged.
Holy
alleged,
shit.
Alleged. Yeah. Everything's alleged. He's allegedly killed his daughter.
Yeah.
They allegedly think he did all of that. This is not. He's arrested for it and awaiting trial and innocent until proven guilty like everybody else. But it doesn't look good. We'll just say that for him. When Andrew Theron's hunting you down, you're probably in deep shit.
You
That's all I'm
probably
going to
did
say.
something.
You did something. So alleged. But you can get this for $19.95 on eBay. Enjoy that. There's a whole bunch of them there.
What
And index. It's a 3x5 index card with his name on it. It just says Kabary in like fucking uppercase block letters and then like a squiggle thing. I guess that's Salem. Okay. So anyway, that everybody is Kabary Salem. And that's a weird. And I get that story was like. That was one that was 80% sports. I understand that. We tried to make it about, 40% of that 80% be, or 50% of that 80% be comedy to get you through that. But the ending is worth it. That was fucking nuts, man. It had to be told.
With zero crime in his life, he commits that.
Allegedly murders his fucking daughter and dumps her body on a fucking jogging trail.
What a staggering fucking story.
The psychology of it, he didn't dump her in a place where she would never be found. So he wanted her to be found, obviously. The psychology behind when a person would dump someone on the side of a very well-used jogging path with just a few leaves on them is obviously you want them to be found. You don't want them to rot out there. But it's just weird for someone to leave their child out in a place like that. That's just a strange... I mean, it's strange for them to kill their kid anyway over some shit like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's just, we'll see how this trial plays out, and we'll definitely have an update about it.
That is going to be a fascinating trial.
It's going to be wild.
I want that on True TV.
Oh, that's going to be fucking. That would be an interesting one to watch. So it's out there. So keep an eye out for. That's another thing. Can't get enough. Watch his trial, I guess. I don't know.
It's going to be around.
So Check all that out, Kabary, Salem, and thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, tell the world about it. 5 stars. Wherever the fuck you can find a review. Please do that. It helps us out a lot. Tell us whether you are a listener, a blunthead, fly lady, or prisoner. Well, let us know. Doesn't matter. Use the reviews. They do help us out a lot. Yeah. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small town murder related. We have so much merch up there. There's new stuff all the time, honestly. If you hear like a funny phrase and you think that's really funny and a bunch of people are talking about it in the Facebook group, there's probably a t-shirt for it or a koozie or a fucking coffee backpack or some shit, coffee mug. So get it. We have lots of stuff there, like a notebook even, something. Get it on there, get in there, do all that. Get tickets to live shows, though. That's the important thing.
That's where
That's where it's at, all throughout 2022. And even at the end of 2021, we have Brea in L.A. there. We have San Diego, New York. Boston is sold out, and we have Phoenix, too.
Portland and
Seattle. Yeah, those, I think Portland is 2 shows sold out, and Seattle's 2 shows sold out. A lot of those are sold out, but I think New York, L.A., San Diego, I think there's some tickets, and possibly a few in Phoenix. So either way, get those all throughout 2022. Shut up and give me murder.com right now and follow us on social media. Very easy to do that. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and more importantly than most things, Patreon. Is so our Patreon episodes, they kick ass. We're humble. You know that. We're pretty humble. We don't toot our own horns a lot. We're more self-deprecating than anything. Our Patreon episodes are fucking good. Period.
They're so fun. Yeah.
They're really fucking funny. They're amazing. If you like this show, you will love Patreon. So patreon.com/crime and sports. Everybody over the $5 level or at 5 or above gets access to all of the shows on there.
Yes.
Both shows, Patreon extras, everything like that. This week is no exception. This week's shows are amazing. We have, first of all, for Crime and Sports, and like I said, doesn't matter which show it's for because you get access to everything, but Crime and Sports' show is avoidable off-field injuries that have ruined careers. And it's there's a lot of funny shit. Just people doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what did you expect, stupid?
It's madness. How many guys still take the chances?
It's crazy. So much stuff in that. So we'll get into that. Kind of the funnier ones that we can find. If there's any like deadly ones, we'll get them from like 60 years ago where it doesn't matter anymore. It's fine to laugh at a dead guy who died 60 years ago, but not quite if it died 2 weeks ago.
The 4th of July one is,
that's brutal. We won't talk about that. Yeah, that's no good at all. No. That's just sad. So, they do that. And then the small town murder one, which I'm just as or even more excited for, is going to be, because we hear nothing but like for people in other countries and even people just from around this country, they're like, what the fuck is going on in Florida? What's happening down there? Why do I always see all this weird shit down there?
How do they do it?
How do they do it? How do they make them so small? So we're going to look at Florida murders, weird Florida murders going back like, who knows, from a couple weeks ago to 100 years ago. And just find some weird ones. I guarantee you there's going to be some murders that involve an alligator of some kind or some shit going on. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait for that this week. It's so much fun. So you can get all of that and more and the whole entire back catalog and everything else at patreon.com/crime and sports. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you'll be a producer, which means that you'll get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmie will try his best to pronounce your name properly while mispronouncing it brutally.
So for sure.
But he's going to try really hard. So that's all you can ask for out of people. So if you want to do that, be one of those people. And the people are amazing, honestly. You can also do it at PayPal, by the way, which will get you a shout-out. PayPal, use our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. You can get a shout-out like that. And speaking of these shout-outs, Jimmie, I don't know about you, but just after hearing that something's allegedly killed their daughter, I need something to cheer me up, spruce me up a bit, Jimmie. Hit me with the names of the people who we love more than anybody on this fucking planet right now.
This week's executive producers are Darren Althofer. He wanted to say happy birthday to his life partner, DK. I didn't have a name, just DK.
Happy birthday, DK. Good for you.
Other executives this week are Doug Michalik? Don't know. Michalik? Mikalik?
I don't know. One of those, maybe.
Joanne
not.
Ahern, Rob Lanto, Jordan Bennett, of course, Francesco Danino, Garrett DeBose, Celeste Warlick, Robin Sherrill, Colin Sherrich, and Kaylee and Vincent Whalen. Thank you guys for everything you do. You're
all
fucking
amazing.
So thankful. You're terrific. Thank you. You're amazing. Other producers this week also are Jennifer Alasakis, DL Bass, Trey Jelly, Aislinn Kalab. It's her birthday. Aislinn, that's right, but I don't know about Kalab. It could be Kalob. It could be Caleb. Caleb. I don't know. Happy birthday, Aislinn.
Happy birthday. Don't know how to say your name.
Alexandria Kritkewitz. I don't know. Ashley Vio, Marcel Destin, Erica Zalinardo. She's been with us. Erica has been with us for 4 years. She's listened almost the whole fucking time. Thank you, Erica.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Nederland Doc Un en Schiepensbo Mataship. That's that fucking. They wanted me to try it. As if.
Good luck,
What, am I going to fucking nail it?
Good luck.
Not going to happen. Oh, boy. Water got me there. Did you hear it?
I did. Yeah, it didn't go down right.
Also, Wirit Hiran Makawit Wirit Hiran Makawanich. Nope.
Yeah.
Maybe. Janice Hill, Susanna Platt, Thomas DeMello. He's in Italy at the moment because he's working there. Bryn Sanders, Jake Goins, Catherine Collado, Jessica Finch, Rebecca Thomas, Kristen Bellinger, James Martyr, Maria Rasper, Peyton Meadows, Thomas E. Sims, David Beers, Emmeline, what is this? Brumley? Emmeline Brudley. Corporal Carl Kirshner, Rabbi Shmulovich,
Rabbi, our people,
Baron Miguel Sisu Luna. What is it?
Baron Miguel Cicluna is a famous
he's from the
WWF
Isle of Malta,
jobber.
James. Yeah,
he's from Malta. That's his whole thing. Yeah, he was a bad guy in wrestling.
All right,
one of Vince McMahon Sr.'s favorite people.
Jim Pizzi, Ashley Hughes, Michael St. Clair, Casey Wood, Zoe Bancroft, Billy Hadfield, sorry, Billy, Brenton Lane, Shamil Singh, yes, April Gustavez. Boy, oh boy. Mike Shields, Rick Smith, yes, Rem MTZ, Kenneth Alden, Matthew Coons, Troy Park, Morgan Morrison, Haven Sadana, Doc Porter, Zach D. Hoop. It's coming off the rails.
Take it to D. Hoop, Zach.
Listen. Candace Cortez Reagan, Daniel Galbraith, Clarence Greiser, Hugh Peltier, Kevin Larson, Addison Hamilton, Andrew Platt, LWJ. I can't even read letters in order. What the fuck? LWJ times 2. Claire Griga, yep. Artemis Fowl, Crystal Grabman, Tyler Late, Emily with no last name, Cindy Dietrich, Catherine Watson, Sean Simon, Bradley Kyle, Cindy Ferrantini, Ian Thomas, Leslie Bogue, Chris Honey, Tyrone Johnson, Michael Carpenter, Keyshawn Almond, Brittany Tony, Cecil Moon, Jesse Loafmiller, Jim Heath, Keith Sanderson, Mia Nelson, Ty Panko. Like
one of those.
Fucking shrimp. Panko. What the hell? Riley Brown, Anina Stevens, Mark Wismer, Captain Doug Workmaster, Jennifer Knopf, Chance McDaniel. I think that's that guy. I think he lives here in Phoenix. I think so. Maybe
cool.
not. If it's not, Chance McDaniel, Brandon Mainsmith, Adele Johnson, Teresa Moore, Colton Curtis, Monty and Rudy's mom, Gavin Lack, Dana Buchanan, Katie Brewers. I think that's Katie in Minnesota. Thank you, Katie. Clemens Claus. That's Santa's son, Clemens. Emily Franklin, Lisa Robertson, Sean Edwards, Robert Spencer, Brooke Blake, Danielle with no last name, E.H., don't know who that is, just the letters, April H., Mandy Privet, Joe Smith, Ramsey Arnold, Andy with no last name, Lindsay Wartner, Linsett? What? Did I do a T instead of a D? I think that's what that is. Laura Howard, Melissa Zine, Mia Landon, Dakota Horton, Teresa Pritchard, Daniel Bannister, Brody Crawford, Dana Sandrine, Clint with no last name, the Katies at Rex Trophies Shop. Thank you, Katies. Kendall, probably not the Jenner.
I'm sure.
Could be.
She's got enough money to throw around. Why not?
Should be. May as well. Kat Cox, Seth Ashworth, Jason Jones, Carlos Sanchez, Ashley Cruz, Michael McKee, Connor King, Rich Murphy, Lisa Smith, Lori Sparks, Carl Tolbert, Amber Vroman, Libby with no last name, Kim Graham, Victoria Rossi, Blake Tourette, Santa Muerta? What? That's the coolest. Santa Muerte. Mary Alexander, Betty with no last name, Joe Conair, Matthew Bowman, CJ Ratch, Joshua Kirkpatrick, Tristan with no last name, Miguel Quintanilla. Wow, that's badass. Nice. Kevin Ray, Stacy with no last name, Willie Williams, Rachel First, Samantha Lindsay, Jacqueline Iman, Nick with no last name, Dustin Odom, Feth Fan, Samantha Timms, Alex Forrest, Stanislav Forov, Lacey Quimby, Shelby Loveland, Andrew Pope, Scott Finley, Angie, Brabender? Good for you. That's a pretty bitchin' last name for a check.
That's not bad.
Bending cool. Just bending them. Hannah Moore, Mason with no last name, Marsha Frazier, Shelby Hughes, Josh Vincent, Jordan Frump, Wanda Lovejoy, Cuddling Death, Alexandria Zoboyovsky, Laura Toe, Karen with no last name with a C also, Nicholas Pleasant Farts, I doubt it, Sandy Francisco, Maria Jacques, Casey with no last name, Stephanie Albier, Chris Fitzgerald, Nori McClellan Ball, Olivia Wood, B. Barrows, and Tyler Cosme, and all of our patrons. You guys truly, you've changed my life. You changed James' life. You make every day so much better. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of this, and of course for your support.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's true. Well, you do change our goddamn lives on a daily basis. So thank you for everything that you do for us, and we hope whatever we're doing back is sufficient to thank you. We'll keep trying to thank you. It's all we can do.
You've garnered the respect of radio guys here in Phoenix that are the top ones, that they love us and offer me to go to finals games, which was fucking amazing. It's because of you guys. Without you guys, they don't give a fuck about me. They're not taking me to a finals game, and you guys did that for me, so thank you.
Shit, yeah, we appreciate everything that you do for us. What if they wanted to get a hold of you, Jimmy? How could they possibly find you in this big, bad world of the internet?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter and Instagram. What about you?
I am at Jimmie P is funny, but if you really want to find us, you can probably just find us somewhere out there. I assume you can just Google the show and we'll probably pop up. It's not secret who the hosts are, so we'll be out there, and hopefully you'll find us and keep sticking with us and keep coming back every week for wild goddamn stories, because it'll be somebody famous next week too. Don't worry. And that said, I think it's time to say goodbye and say live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Suns and 7. Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.